Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Spillane Field, home of the Wareham Gatemen. Tonight, we are celebrating the 100th year of the Cape Cod Baseball League. The CCBL was launched on June 27, 1923, when representatives from Falmouth, Hyannis, Osterville, and Chatham met and arranged a schedule of games for July and August. The first game of the new league was played in Hyannis on July 7th, with Osterville for the opposing team. Over the next 100 years, the league grew to 10 teams and secured its place in baseball history as the premier summer collegiate baseball league in the country. There are annually over 350 active Cape Cod Baseball League alumni playing in the major leagues and more than 1,600 all-time. It is my pleasure to introduce just a few of those who work year-round to keep the Gatemen organization recognized as one of the best franchises in the league. Glenn Hannington, president of the Gatemen, as in you can keep that foul ball, courtesy of Glenn Hannington and his daughter Tevis. Tom Gay Sr., Vice President, Cape Cod Baseball League, longtime president and GM of the Gatemen. Tom Worthen, Vice President of the Gatemen and the host family for over 40 years. Jim McKernan, Treasurer, Director of Merchandise, host family for over 25 years. Sherry Gay, Director of the Gatemen, 27 years, host family 20 years, Secretary of the Gatemen, 15 years, and member of the Cape Cod Baseball League Hall of Fame Committee. James Hubbard, Gatemen General Manager from 1991 to 1996. Katuan Kettler's player and manager for 9 years. And Alan Slavin, Town of Wareham Selectman. And now President Glenn Hannington to say a few words.
Hello everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you, Brewster. Thank you, Wareham. I noticed the commissioner of the league, Eric Zamuda in the red. Say hello to him. We'd like to thank everybody that has supported this organization. The volunteers, to the fans. And also, more importantly, we can't forget about Red Shirt Friday, honoring the women and men of the armed forces and veterans. How about a round for them? In closing, I just want to thank Tyler Horan, who's going to be coming out, throwing the first pitch. I'm wearing my 2012 Cape Cod League Championship ring because of him. We'll be getting you later. Thank you again, everybody.
At this time, I would like to invite our special guest to join those on the field. Tyler Horan, the Virginia Tech product, starred in the Wareham outfield in 2012, leading the Gatemen to the Cape League Championship. The 6'2", 230-pound Horan belted 16 homers, tying Dave Statton's modern-day league wood bat record set in 1988, and totaled 52 hits and 40 RBI. The Middleborough, Massachusetts native was named the Cape League's top New England prospect. In the Cape Cod Baseball League playoffs, Horan batted .292 with 2 homers and 7 RBI as Wareham defeated YD 2-1 in the championship series. The last which was in the top of the 10th inning to secure the championship for the Gatemen. He was named to the CCBL All-League team and finished as runner-up to Brewster's Aaron Judge in the 2012 College Baseball Home Run Derby. Tyler was drafted by San Francisco and played 5 years in the minor leagues, batting .260 with 55 home runs and 191 runs batted in. Please give a warm welcome home to Tyler Horan. And now we would like to invite our first pitch ceremony participants to take them down. All right, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to ask you to please rise and remove your hats as we honor America as Brianna Lynch sings the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Wareham Gatemen would like to welcome our guests for tonight's first pitch ceremony. Please welcome Mark Whalen from the AD Makepeace Company. Mark is a foreman for the 169-year-old Wareham-based Cranberry Company. Mark and his wife Virginia make their home in Wareham with their two sons, MJ and Todd. Throwing out the first pitch this evening is 4-year-old jiu-jitsu enthusiast MJ Nalen. In addition to jiu-jitsu, MJ is a big fan of bugs, dinosaurs, rainbows, and monster trucks. Let's hear it for MJ! Also throwing out his ceremonial first pitch tonight, the Gatemen's special guest, Tyler Horan. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the third base on deck circle as we welcome Lana Rose Hopkins, Tate and Trace Santos, and Paisley Malaguti as they say the words we've all been waiting to hear.
Thank you for coming.
Play ball!
Fly ball, left field in deep, has a shot, and it's gone! Back at the wall, a grand slam! It's one in the air, deep right center field. This ball is going to split the gap and roll to the fence. Swing and miss. He got him.
Baseball league play tonight. Brewster Whitecaps.
I don't know.
Face off against the Wareham. It's a special night here at Wareham. Glad you can join us here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Jack Carter, your roommate, gave us
100-year anniversary tonight. It'll be the Gatemen tonight and YD tomorrow. So a lot of fun experiences over the next couple of days. And now we get Chev versus Smythe, round number 3. Gatemen have won one and they've tied the other. Brewster trying to make it a true even split. Gatemen trying to go 2-0-1. Start the season against the Whitecaps. They will have one more meeting later, a couple weeks from now, at the Whitecaps home stadium in Brewster.
100 years ago today, on July 7th, the Osterville Townies went to Hyannis to play the first game of the Cape Cod Baseball League ever. And there have been a lot of iterations of the league. It's changed a lot since then, but here we are 100 years later. Glad you can celebrate here with us as Will Turner gets it started for the Brewster Whitecaps against Riley Eichhoff. Making his second start, the Coastal Carolina Chanticleer, working from the middle of the rubber, and his first pitch of the evening is a fastball down the middle for strike one. First pitch coming at 6:05 Eastern Standard Time, a little bit on the tardier side tonight with all of the pregame festivities tonight. 79 degrees at first pitch. Eichhoff just misses the outside corner. Our umpires today, Joe Gravino behind the plate, Christopher Scott at first, and Brian McGugan at third. Turner sees it for strike two. Will Turner's been a great leadoff hitter for the Brewster Whitecaps. Went 2 for 5, had 2 RBIs yesterday, had 3 hits the last time these two teams faced off against each other last Monday here at Spillane Field. Both these ball clubs coming in at 9-11-2 on the season. Both of them won yesterday. Brewster on a 3-game winning streak. The 2-2 sent to center field. Ranging back is Josh Stevenson. He's under it, and he's got it for the first out of the evening.
Third baseman, number 1, Davis Diaz from Vanderbilt.
Riley Eichhoff, his 3rd appearance of the year for the Gatemen. His 2nd start. He started last Wednesday. We were still in June. Versus the YD Red Sox. Got through 4 2/3 innings as he faces the Vanderbilt Commodore, Davis Diaz.
Defensively for the Gatemen, Lawson Harrell in left, Josh Stevenson in center, Nick McLean out in right. Dorian Gonzalez at third, Bobby Bozers at short, Garen Caulfield at second, Grant Hussey at first.
Yadi Hernandez behind the plate, and Eichhoff's delivery to him is a called strike on the outer third.
Battery, Eichhoff and Yadi Hernandez. Met Yadi's family earlier, and his girlfriend was here. Drove up from New Jersey.
Just off the corner.
We're here with his brother, who's actively looking for a college. He is a senior in high school. So he's playing in a tournament locally, looking to make a name for himself, just as his brother did.
Slider off the plate. Eichhoff has come onto the scene. He started a few games late in the year for Coastal Carolina that really pushed him across the finish line. Now the 2-2 offering. Served to right center field. McLean ranging over. He's got it on the run. Decelerates to the catch for the second out.
Clean start for him.
Left fielder number 11,
He's thrown
Josh
twice this
Pearson
summer, and the last
from
outing wasn't so
LSU.
great. 4 2/3 against the Armadennis Red Sox. 4 runs, only 2 of them were earned, gave up 6 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. 21 batters faced. 4 2/3 is a good length for him. I think the Gatemen would be happy with that performance tonight, but now the hits obviously jump out at you.
First pitch to Josh Pearson is in there for a strike. Well, Eichhoff's start last Wednesday on the 28th was the last time a Gateman starter got an out in the 4th inning. Eichhoff got 2 outs in the 5th before being removed. It's been 6 games since then. The starting pitching has not come around. Pearson crushes one right center field. All Stevenson and McLean can do is watch it clank off the scoreboard. How about Josh Pearson's arrival to the Cape Cod Baseball League? The LSU Tiger with the bases clearing double in his first game last night. And a solo shot off the scoreboard here in the top of the first.
Yeah, boy, has he made a name for himself here on the Cape. Really big hit early on and does some damage for the Whitecaps. Remember, Wareham won the first meeting here between these two teams, 9-2. Claire Brewster wants a little revenge for that. Wow, good hit.
It's been a spark in the Brewster offense over the last few games.
Catcher number
Activating
16,
many
Derek
new offensive
Berg
pieces,
from Army.
including Pearson, who just played in his second game. Here's Derek Berg from Army West Point, who's playing in his third game. And the righty rolls one to second. Caulfield up with it. To first he goes, and that'll be the top half of the inning. But the Brewster Whitecaps, with a loud swing from Josh Pearson, get on the board first. 1 run on 1 hit, 0 errors, and 0 left. We go to the bottom of the first. Your score, Brewster 1, and the Gatemen coming up next on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Back to the bottom of the first we go here on the Gatemen Baseball Network, taking a look at how the Gatemen are lining up today, starting with Nick McLean and Garen Caulfield in the 1 and 2 holes respectively. It was a big hit for last night. Caulfield got moved to the 2-hole. Hussey, Harrell, and Murillo in the middle. Dorian Gonzalez, Bobby Bozer, Yadi Hernandez, and Josh Stevenson rounding things out once again. McLean, Caulfield, Hussey, Harrell, Murillo, Gonzalez, Bozer, Hernandez, and Stevenson. Facing the 6'5" righty, making his Brewster Whitecaps debut, it's Austin Gordon from
Right
Clemson.
fielder number 15, Nick
Yeah,
McLean
Austin was
from
on Team
Arizona
USA, or at
State.
least went to try out, and now he's been brought back to Brewster. Interesting, we haven't seen, I think this might be the first player we've seen that went to USA and came back. And this will be very interesting indeed to watch him go.
And his first pitch is a fastball down. He's got his work cut out for him tonight. This Wareham offense coming into today, #1 in the league in runs scored. A big night last night, 9 runs on 12 hits, 2 long balls. And McLean shoots one over our head.
And again, it's an offense that has not been, really hitting the ball hard. They are up right there in home runs. They do hit for power, they can, but I mean, they're 8th in average. They're 4th in on-base percentage. They just kind of chip away at you.
Cutter misses high and in. Gordon was a horse for Clemson this year, a weekend starter, threw a ton of innings. Tries to get level in the count, but falls behind now 3-1.
Was talking with the Brewster broadcast team, and they were telling me the game that Brewster played at Chatham a few nights back, in which there was a fog delay, Austin, during the fog delay.
Fly ball out in front of the mound. The third baseman coming in and making the grab. That's Diaz for the first out.
They were telling me during the
Second
fog
baseman,
delay, he was throwing the
Garen
football with some
Caulfield
teammates,
from
and he looked
Arizona.
like Trevor Lawrence, to reference another Clemson star. He could throw a football just as good as he could throw a baseball.
Well, Gordon rocking with a fastball, a slider, a changeup, a curveball, and a cutter. A true starter arsenal. 5 pitches. Here's Garen Caulfield. Caulfield takes it low. Garen has been one of the hottest bats in the lineup over the last 5 or 6 games. He went 2 for 4 last night in his first game in the 2-hole. Scored 3 times. He takes the slider outside. (2-0) on the inside corner. Joe Gravino pumps the strike. (2-1) up and in. So for Brewster and Wareham, it's round 3 of the Chev versus Smythe battle, the Keystone Clash, as I coined it last night. 3-1 low, an emphatic ball call, and Garen Caulfield is the first base runner of the night for the Gatemen.
Get on base to lead
First
things off.
baseman number 27, Grant Hussey from West Virginia.
And a good job by Caulfield to get on in front of this guy to be a table setter for Grant Hussey, who crossed the 20 RBI mark last night. He's had 2 individual 6 RBI performances here at home. Followed that up with a 4 RBI performance last night. A 2-out, 2-run single in the first, a double, and a sac fly. He takes strike 1. Ryan Smythe and Jamie Shevchuk for over 10 years have been in the same dugout. And Hussey gets into one. Deep right field, going back as Ferrer. He looks up, and that one's off the top of the wall. It stumbles out there in right center field. Coming around is Caulfield, the relay. Throw to the plate. It's in time, and Caulfield gets gunned out at the plate. A perfect relay throw by Peyton Green.
I think Ryan Smythe is going to come out and have a quick conversation. I think he was maybe saying he was blocking the plate.
Left fielder number 10, Lawson Harrell
close
from
call.
Campbell.
You know, Burke did a good job, but did he do too good of a job is the question. I think this at least warrants further review. We got to look at the replay there. This at least warrants a conversation between the umpires.
So Hussey tagged one in the right center field gap. It got away from Jaime Ferrer out there in right field. And then Will Turner tried to come and pick it up. He bobbled it, trying to pick it up with the bare hand. But the relay came in to the second baseman, Peyton Green, who delivered a strike to home plate. Derek Berg at the plate, caught it, tagged, and out. And Ryan Smythe still talking with the home plate umpire, Joe Gravina, and Gravina is...
This is getting a little heated. You know, that's not something that's been too common with Smythe.
So Smythe not happy about it. Caulfield cut out at the plate for out number 2. Ryan Smythe, Jamie Shevchuk. Two great coaches in this league. Smythe played for Shevchuk for 2 years at Keystone. And starting in 2011, started coaching with him. Now in his 13th season coaching with Jamie. As Lawson Harrell takes strike one after playing for him for 2 years. They've played and coached together. Or Smythe played for Shevchuk and then coached for him. They coached for the Danbury Westerners, the Brewster Whitecaps, and now in opposite dugouts. Harrell rolls over one to third. Diaz has it on the hop, the sling to first, and that'll be it for the Gatemen in the bottom of the first. A close play at the plate goes Brewster's way. The Gatemen get no runs on one hit, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the second now with your score Brewster 1 and Wareham 0 on the Gatemen Baseball Network. 1-0 Brewster, your score after 1 inning of play. And for more on the Gatemen's new motto, here's the third member of our crew, Amanda Foster.
Skills baseball can bring to players both on and off the field. The Yawkey Foundation has been proud to support the
He
Cape
said
Cod
it
baseball
early in the
league
season
for
before
more
a
than
game, and it just stuck
25
around
years.
and the guys started saying it. It's become something that they say before every game as a way to place the emphasis on protecting their home turf and owning their field. And stay tuned. I've heard that we might be able to see some t-shirts or merchandise coming up in the future, guys.
Thank you, Amanda. Great. It's great to hear from you. We go now to the second. I'm looking forward to the Guard the Gate merchandise. Hey, look, if they want to send some free gear up this way, we'd be glad to wear it on the broadcast.
Yeah, we'll get into that. If they send it our way, we will wear it on the air.
James Tibbs leading off, Jared Jones and Jaime Ferrer to follow. Tibbs, the Atlanta area native out of Pope High School, hit a home run last night for Brewster in a big 12-6 win over Harwich. First pitch he sees is down from Riley Eichhoff.
Eichhoff breezed through that first inning with the exception of one batter. Looking to get back into the mojo here.
Hernandez tries to frame it up, can't do so. Tibbs leads the Whitecaps in both walks and strikeouts. He's heating up at the late. He rolls over to first. Hussey's got it, scoops to the covering Eichhoff for out number 1. 3-1 in the book, and here comes the Bear, Jared Jones.
First baseman number 51, Jared Jones.
So this is another guy that I've got a personal connection to. So Jared Jones out of Walton High School. I'm a junior playing baseball. You roll up to Walton, I believe, for a scrimmage. And this guy is a young freshman playing for Walton High School, the Walton Raiders. And he is hitting balls that I don't think I've ever seen in person being hit that far. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe one day this guy's going to be something. And now here we are about 4 or 5 years later. Jared Jones, a star for LSU, freshman, All-American second team this year, played 55 games for the Tigers, got some at-bats in the College World Series. All 6'5", 240 pounds of them standing in the box here at Spillane Field. Came out of high school as a catcher, did not catch too much at LSU, not surprisingly this year with Hayden Travinsky behind the plate. Hit multiple balls over the left field scoreboard at the box at LSU this year. He takes a big swing and a miss, a nice slider from Eichhoff.
Freshman All-SEC team this spring. Mentioned that home run, a couple of them in LSU's national championship run.
1-2 misses inside. So for Jones as well, he is a guy that should be the future of LSU baseball. Obviously, it's kind of hard to crack into that lineup this year with all of the MLB talent on it. As he watches ball 3. So with Dylan Cruz expected to go top 5, Cade Beloso, the guy that was taking some playing time. The year moving on. The future is bright in the hands of Jared Jones, and he has worked himself a walk. Jones
Right
played in his
fielder,
first
number
game
7,
yesterday. He's
Jamie
one of 2
Farrer
LSU
from
guys
Florida
that just
State.
got up here. And here's a guy that Gatemen fans would remember, Jaime Ferrer. A one-out walk from Eichhoff sends Ferrer to the plate. Ferrer had a home run in the first meeting between these two teams, a 2-run shot. It was a 4-4 tie. First pitch breaking ball misses outside.
Gatemen pitching allowed 14 walks last night. This was Eichhoff's first. Whoever can throw strikes is getting opportunities. That's been kind of the mojo, or the motto from Ryan Smythe. Who he's putting in guys that, you know, whoever can hit the zone consistently. They're still trying to find people.
Well, the 14 walks the Gatemen pitching staff issued last night was a new game high across the league. Also, the Bourne Braves stole 10 bases, which is also partly an indictment on the pitching staff as well, handling the running game. But Rene Lastros did throw out 3 runners. Both of those numbers also single game highs across the league. A nice buzz at the ballpark tonight here on Red Friday. Every team across the league, every home team will be wearing those red jerseys with Cape Cod across the front and the camo hats to honor the armed forces. Breaking ball hit into the ground left side. Gonzalez stumbles to first. Can he recover? He cannot. It'll go down as an infield single for Jaime Ferrer.
Good effort, though, by
Shortstop number
Dorian
39,
Gonzalez.
Mason White
Stumbled with it.
from Arizona.
What you're going to see right here, he recovers and still gets the throw off. Just barely misses him. Good effort.
Well, we talked about the walks. We talked about all the craziness that happened last night. Also, 7 errors combined between these two teams. Here's Mason White. White will take one outside. Mason White is also a guy that has played a role in one of the first 2 games. He was the placed runner in the 10th inning of the first matchup that got picked off. Brewster, all they needed to do was get this guy 180 feet. They had 3 outs to work with, and White got picked off trying to take third. A big swing and a miss, a nice changeup from Eichhoff. Eichhoff, not the first one in his family to be here on the Cape. His older brother Nate played for the Harwich Mariners. And White Skies went over the Wareham Middle School building to the left of us. Nate Eichhoff, pitching for Harwich in 2018, was a Virginia Cavalier. And now the Coastal Carolina Chanticleer on the mound. From the stretch, 2 runners on. 1-2 pitch on the way. Served left side, foul, out of play. It hits the light post and redirects back into the field of play. Mason White did not play last night. Peyton Green was the shortstop. Green moves to second tonight. He's on deck. Let's try it again. Eichhoff climbs the ladder and misses up. Chopped right side. Hussey's going to let it trickle foul. So both of these teams, you probably wouldn't be surprised to hear this, are pretty similar, considering the two guys in opposing dugouts have spent most of their careers inside the same dugout. But take this for a stat. So in interleague play, so Brewster in the East, Wareham in the West, both of these teams against the other divisions are 5-4-1. Against their own divisions, both of these teams are 4-7-1. So both of these clubs have been better in these situations. Off-speed pitch misses 2 up. Eichhoff going to the changeup. Pick back to second. Stumbling in is the Bear, Jared Jones. White settling in to the left-handed batter's box, awaiting the payoff pitch from Riley Eichhoff. Here it is. Sent to left center field. Stevenson retreating. He's got it. Going to his right. A quick spin and throw. It'll keep both runners put, and it'll record the second out.
Second baseman, number 6, Peyton Green from North Carolina State.
Out to the 9-hole, Peyton Green. Green will be making the in-conference move next year from North Carolina State to Georgia Tech. The shortstop turned second baseman today, went 2 for 4 yesterday, had 2 RBIs. Eichhoff once again missing high. Well, if there's somebody to limit the walk issue for the Gatemen today, it would be Riley Eichhoff. He only walked about 5% of the batters he faced for Coastal this year. But he's behind in the count here, 2 balls and 0 strikes. Jones on second worked a 1-out walk. Ferrer had an infield dribbler that turned into a single. He's on first base. Fouled off at the plate. Riley Eichhoff threw a complete game in an elimination game after Coastal lost a rider the day before. He delivered the first Coastal complete game since 2017 against UNCW. Kept the season alive in a masterful outing. Third base side, Gonzalez lets it go foul. Threw 98 pitches through 9 innings of work in that outing. 76.5% strikes. 75 out of the 98 pitches he threw were in the zone. He was continuing a trend already where he was hot. The Sun Belt tournament, 6 2/3 innings, a quality start. Pitched 7 innings to clinch the regular season title in the Sun Belt for the Chanticleers. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Eichhoff takes a little off. A dazzling changeup, strikes out Green, and will end the Whitecaps' threat here in the top of the second. No runs, 1 hit, 0 errors, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the frame. It's Brewster 1 and the Gatemen 0.
Book your next mid-Cape escape.
After Brewster goes scoreless in the top of the second, we go to the bottom of the inning. Austin Gordon still on the mound for the Whitecaps with Murillo, Gonzalez, and Bozer 2 up here for the Gatemen. Good to have you with us. A special night here. Not only is it a Red Shirt Friday night honoring the armed forces, as you can see by the Gatemen red jerseys, but it's the 100th anniversary night here at the ballpark of the Cape Cod Baseball League. The first Cape Cod Baseball League game happening 100 years ago today, on July 7th, 1923. Osterville going to Hyannis. Hyannis, one of the 3 original franchises, Falmouth and Chatham, the other 2. Derek Berg trying to get his catcher's equipment right, get some help from Joe Gravino behind the plate. Derek Berg was one of a few guys added to this Brewster roster a few days ago that have really put a spark plug into this team. These guys have been the jumper cables in reviving this season for Brewster. A 5-game losing streak immediately turned around with a 3-game winning streak now, including 2 wins over the Harwich Mariners.
Speaking of the Cape Cod Baseball League, let's get you some scores. Top of the 7th, Bourne 2, YD 1. Good one at Reb Wilson Field. Bourne, of course, was here last night looking to start another winning streak. Catuit 5, Hyannis nothing. Catuit got beat badly last night as well, so they're looking to rebound.
Murillo, roller left side, the shortstop. White cannot corral it. It looks to be an infield single for Murillo.
Well, yeah, I don't think it was even,
Third baseman,
he would have even been thrown out had that ball been fielded cleanly. That was a great hit pitch, and a surprise, surprise, Sebastian Murillo finds a way to get on base.
Murillo 5 for his last 18 in a 6-game stretch. His first home run of the season last night. Just like Garen Caulfield, a guy that the Gatemen desperately need, and a team that has a lot of guys that hit home runs and strike out. You need some guys that can hit some line drives and get on base. He's done that.
Rest of the Cape League scoreboard.
You can keep that foul ball.
The only 2 games that are going on are Bourne and YD and Hyannis Catuit besides this one. But you've got Orleans and Harwich coming up pretty soon from White House Field. And then Falmouth and Chatham, a couple of last place teams. The 2 5th place teams go at it 7 o'clock at Veterans Field.
Falmouth been playing better as of late. They're not in last place by a lot, only 2 points. A great spinner across the plate. Gonzalez now faced with an 0-2 count.
And Chatham as well. They elected to have the off day yesterday. They'll make up their July 4th game against the Orleans Firebirds on July 21st in a doubleheader.
Murillo goes. He's stuck in between first and second, but he's going to scamper back as Berg's throw skips to the shortstop, White.
Interesting move.
Now, Green actually the one to come on the other side of the bag. Murillo was a kind of a delayed steal, got stuck in between first and second, and just scampered back. Crisis averted for Wareham. White and Green trying to lock things down up the middle for the Whitecaps.
You mentioned Falmouth. Well, yesterday they beat Catuit badly. 12-2. Game where they scored 2 in the first, 2 in the third, and 4 in the 5th.
Gonzalez staying alive, poking the off-speed pitch back.
They also had 1 in the 6th and 3 in the 7th. There were only 3 innings in that game in which they didn't score. So they had a very, very successful day at the plate. And obviously we mentioned earlier, Catuit lost a couple of guys to the draft. So they've had to release some players. That's kind of the second half deal with the Cape League.
Big time at bat here from Dorian Gonzalez. Gonzalez did not play yesterday, but here in the lineup today at third base, the lefty swinger has had a few big knocks for the team this year. He said his favorite moment of the year was when the Gatemen were down to their last out a few weeks ago, playing here at home versus Bourne on the 18th of June. Game-tying 2-run single, and now he's worked a full count. Austin Gordon was a little slow coming off the mound.
Yeah, stumbled over something. Now he's gonna try to kick the dirt around a little bit.
Gordon, a 6'5" right-handed hurler from Myrtle Beach out there in South Carolina. About 5 hours across the state for Clemson. Runner goes, Gonzalez swing and a miss. The throw from Berg down to second, gets under the glove of White. Good backup by Green, but Murillo will take second.
Well, I think they probably had him dead to rights if the throw had been on the money, but it was a little weak, bounced back of White. Sebastian Murillo gets a stolen base. 35th of the season for Wareham.
We'll see how many innings Gordon can get through not only tonight, but during his stint here at the Cape. Through 84 for Clemson as Bozer shoots one foul.
Yeah, because of that, in addition to the fact that he threw some with USA, you would guess that he's not going to be here for very long.
Just finished his sophomore year at Clemson, was a weekend guy, started as a Friday night guy, then turned to Saturday. His 0-1 pitch to Bobby, once again shot out of play. He went 2-4, a 4.61 ERA. He mentioned he's got 4 or 5 pitches he'll work with. Bobby Bozer, 2 for 3 last night. He's been really seeing the ball well, letting it get deep and driving it to right center field. There's a big gap there if he can get it out there. And he sees it high. Pearson, Turner, and Ferrer from left to right holding down the Brewster outfield. Turner's playing pretty deep there in a big center field. Gatemen will hit the road tomorrow as they go face the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox for the 3rd of 4 meetings this season. The 2-2 to Bozer, hit on the ground left side. On the other side of the line is where Diaz picks it up. Bobby's playing shortstop tonight. Played center field last night as the guy on second base, Sebastian Murillo, manned it down. But Murillo getting a little bit off his feet tonight at DH. Now Bozer's worked a full count. So Bozer is almost 1-to-1 strikeout to walk after a lot of strikeouts to start the year. He's the team leader with 16 walks now after the departure of David Glancy. Can he work number 17 here? He can. And what a great at-bat there from Bobby Bozer.
Yeah, he's gotten really patient at the plate last bunch
Catcher
of
number
games.
24, Yadi Hernandez
It's
from
made him
Seton
a
Hall.
invaluable asset.
We've talked about this on numerous occasions, but Bozer, a guy that when he gets down in the count now, still feels comfortable. He's taking a lot of close pitches. You got to take close pitches to get in those good counts, good at-bats. Hernandez off the end of the bat. Turner broke out, now coming in. This one is going to get down. Murillo getting the wave. He's coming around trying to score, and he will. Great base running by Sebastian Murillo, reading it perfectly, and the game is tied at 1 here in the bottom of the second.
Really great piece of hitting from Yadi. Found the perfect spot in center field to put it. Brings home Sebastian, and Gatemen have evened this thing up. They probably feel they should be ahead right now, having Guerin thrown out at the plate in the first, but right now another opportunity to get ahead with Josh Stevenson coming up.
So for Hernandez, that's his 2nd RBI of the year. He's in the transfer portal right now, and a guy that just got out of the transfer portal, committed to Ohio State, Josh Stevenson, pulls back the bunt, takes strike 1. Stevenson was telling me before the game, it's crazy the amount of love and support he's gotten, even from LSU fans, about his decision to transfer. Throwing bunt again, cannot get it down. He was saying, he posted his announcement that he was going to Ohio State before the game last night, even though he had officially done it a few days ago. And he said he put down his phone, came back after the game and checked it, and he said he's still not been able to get back to even close to the amount of messages. He puts a charge into that ball. That ball is deep to right field, looking up, goodbye! The new Ohio State Buckeye, Josh Stevenson, puts a crooked number on the scoreboard. A 3-run shot, it's 4-1.
What a great piece of hitting from Stevenson. Another ball out there in right field. That ball was just crushed. And now they turn the lineup over for McLean. 4 batters have scored in this inning. 5 have come to the plate.
Let's get you the numbers on that one. It was at 100 miles an hour off the bat, traveling over 370 feet to right field. All Ferrer could do was watch it sail over his head into the visiting bullpen. McLean popped up on the infield. Diaz ranging over. He comes back and grabs it for out number 2. So big 4 spot here. Early runs, a great sign for the Gatemen after getting 4 last night. They have 4 here in the second inning, 4 in the first last night. With 2 outs, here's Garen Caulfield. He sees a first pitch spinner. Hello, Garen. Chopper, left side. Big hop for White. He's up with it and throws out his teammate at Arizona to end the frame. But a 3-run shot by Josh Stevenson highlights a big 4-run inning here in the bottom of the second for the Gatemen. That's 4 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and no left. We go to the third. It's a big Gatemen lead here at Spillane Field. Stay with us. Well, Riley Eichhoff has a big lead to work with as we go to the third. It's 4-1 Wareham after an offensive explosion in the bottom of the second. A 3-run home run by Josh Stevenson. It's Stevenson's first home run in a Wareham uniform, and Aiden, he's got to be feeling on cloud 9 right now.
Yeah, he does. He's been playing really well all season. We've been waiting for this to happen, and it finally did. Good for him. Really, really good piece of hitting.
The Gatemen continuing their offensive success at home. Eichhoff's first pitch now to the top of the order. Will Turner fouls it back.
Their offense overall against Brewster, I know they faced 3 different starting pitchers, but that first game, it was a very close game, low scoring. But the offense, these 2 games here between Wareham and Brewster has been really good.
Chopped right side. Hussey gets a nice hop. He'll take it himself for the first out.
Eichhoff can settle back into the groove on the mound.
Number 1, Davis Diaz from Vanderbilt.
He's got a lead to work with. Let's see if he can be a little more comfortable. And Brewster has run into a little bit of unluckiness playing against Wareham so far. The 2 starters that Brewster has faced have been the best 2 starters all year for Wareham, and Mark Manfredi and Coleman Picard. They've got Eichhoff tonight. First pitch, shot foul left side. Yeah, he's tattooed that 188 miles an hour out of play, screaming towards the stands. Fastball low part of the zone. Eichhoff gets the call from Joe Gravina. The Gatemen starter has not gotten an out in the 4th inning since Eichhoff last pitched last Wednesday. And a slider on the corner rings up Diaz for out number 2.
Tired Diaz twice in this game.
Left fielder, number 11, Josh Pearson from LSU.
Giving you that number about in the last 6 games now, how the Gatemen have not gotten a starter to get an out in the 4th inning. That's led to a taxed bullpen. The bullpen hasn't worked less than 5 innings now, and you guessed it, 6 games. First pitch, right side, past Caulfield and into right field. A nice knock from Josh Pearson, who stays hot. How about the LSU guys getting it done so far? Stevenson playing for LSU the past 2 years. He hits the 3-run home run in the bottom of the second. And then the guy that played ahead of him a lot this year, and Josh Pearson, also his year, his recruiting class, 2 for 2 today. He's got a homer as well.
Yeah, now he's got a single. He's 2 for 2. Great way to make a name for yourself on the Cape. Pearson has only had 4 at-bats this season coming in.
It was his
hit really well today.
It was his first game last night. Brewster liked what they saw. They put him in the 3-hole tonight. Here's Derek Bird. Before he sees a pitch, Riley Eichhoff wants to check on Pearson over at first base. Jamie Shevchuk's teams, just like Ryan Smythe's teams, want to be aggressive on the base pass. Let's see if Pearson can get to second here with 2 outs in the inning. Back pick to first, slap tag, not in time. The only damage that Riley Eichhoff has surrendered so far is a solo home run with 2 outs in the first inning. Trying to work around a 2-out single as he's facing a pretty big bat here in Derek Berg. Pitch to him, outside. Berg is a rising senior from Conroe, Texas. First team All-Patriot League this year. The Army West Point Black Knights have won 5 straight Patriot League championships. And Berg, a big part of that this year, hit a 3-run home run in the Patriot League championship. He awaits now the 1-1. Runner goes, pitch inside. Hernandez throw down to second. Caulfield can't scoop it, and it's a stolen base for Pearson to add to an already impressive game here tonight.
Yeah, really impressive. 2 hits and a stolen base. We're only in the 3rd inning. Probably get at least 2 more at bats.
So he's in scoring position. Let's see if Berg can knock him home and cut the deficit to 2 runs. He's got a lot of room on the right side to work with. He cracks one left side. Bozer up with it. The throw across the diamonds. And the Whitecaps are done in the top of the 3rd. A 2-out single gets stranded. No runs, 1 hit, 0 errors, and 1 left for Brewster here in the top of the 3rd. To the bottom we go. Wareham still holding on to a 3-run lead here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. We're celebrating 100 years of Cape Cod League baseball tonight. We're celebrating Red Shirt Friday tonight. We're currently celebrating a Gatemen lead. It's 4-1 as we go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Alongside Adam Blank, our wonderful producers, Rachel Manning and Braden Shank. Jack Hunter here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. And here on Red Shirt Friday, honoring the Army West Point catcher, Derek Berg, who obviously has a bright future ahead of him serving our country. So a well-deserved applause for Derek, who was a little late getting back out onto the field after making the last out in the top of the 3rd. Middle of the order due up here for the Gatemen. Hussey, Harrell, Morello, 3-4-5. Back facing Gordon. A big first pitch swing from Hussey. Gordon giving up the home run in the bottom of the 2nd. That was the problem this year for Gordon at Clemson. 19 home runs surrendered in 16 start. Didn't walk a lot of guys, good strikeout numbers, but could not stay away from the long ball. Hussey staying alive, fouls it out of play. Grant, the biggest thing for him, and it's a great sign for the Gatemen, is he's been shortening the swing a little bit, putting the bat to the ball more, cutting down on the strikeouts. He's a big 3 true outcome guy. Strikeout, walk, home run. Did it over 50% of his plate appearances at West Virginia this past year. But starting to cut down a little bit on those strikeouts. And now he's worked a level count. Foul tipped into the mitt. Berg holds on to it, and that's the first out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Second strikeout of the evening for Austin Gordon. Here steps Lawson Harrell. So we were telling you last night, we have an update for you. Harrell swinging a piece of team-issued lumber. First pitch skies one back of us. Planks back down towards the backstop. So Harrell, the rule is on the team is if you get a hit in one of your first 2 games, you get access to the high quality lumber that the league provides the teams provide to the players. So he was swinging his own stick last night. He got 2 hits last night, so now hitting with the team wood. Takes a swing and a miss for strike 2. Back to the elevated fastball. 2 batters faced, 2 strikeouts here in the third for Gordon.
Yeah, this is
Designated hitter
really
number
good from
3,
Austin Gordon.
Sebastian
The
Murillo from
Austin
Georgia.
Gordon that I think Brewster is looking for in however long he's with the team. 4 straight retired after that slew of hits and walks in the second.
That last pitch clocked at 91. First pitch curveball slips out of the hand. Sebastian Murillo making his case to be an all-star and represent the Gatemen at the all-star game later this month. Slow roller to short. White on the run, gets it out of his glove and flings it across the diamond for the third out. So a clean 1-2-3 inning for Austin Gordon. A big bounce back frame here for the Clemson righty. We go to the 4th now with your score: Wareham 4 and Brewster 1 from Spillane Field. To the 4th inning we go, and for the Brewster Whitecaps, James Tibbs, Jared Jones, and Jaime Ferrer will be the
Designated
3
hitter number
set to
33,
face Riley
James
Eichhoff
Tibbs from
in the
Florida
4th.
State.
Eichhoff's going to have to go pick up that ball. The sun caused him to drop it behind the mound. It's a cool moment here for Tibbs and Jones to be hitting back-to-back. Both of these guys from the Atlanta area. Tibbs from Pope High School, Jared Jones from Walton. And Tibbs wastes no time, and you can admire that baseball. A moonshot that sails over the fence. 1 pitch, 1 run. Brewster cuts the deficit to 2.
Wow. All kinds of coil in that swing, and that ball just flew out.
To live and work Cape Cod. An attainable housing fund
Brewster's
in
starting to
support
fight
of
back here
local
for 2.
workforce housing
Eichhoff was
initiatives.
starting to roll a little bit, had retired.
First baseman number 51,
that
Jared
5 of
Jones
6.
from LSU.
Now gives up that home run. Here's Jared Jones.
Didn't get an official distance on that TrackMan, but I would not be surprised if that thing was sailing close to 400 feet. Yep, 410 on the dot, 105 off the bat. First pitch to Jones, a slider swung through. So we got the July heat here. The ball starting to carry at Spillane Field. We've seen 3 homers today, and none of them have been cheapies. James Tibbs from Florida State getting one on the board. Now Jones swings through another slider. Jared Jones went 0 for 3 with 3 punch outs in his first game last night. Still trying to settle in. Hard chopper, left side, diving stop by Bozer, gets up, slings to first, stretched by Hussey, got him! Oh, what a play by Bobby Bozer and Hussey to finish it.
That's pure athleticism right there. That is some grit
fielder
out
number
of
7,
the shortstop.
Jaime Ferrer from Florida State.
Getting up, firing across to Hussey, barely beats him out. What a great play by Bobby.
If I was talented in the musical department, I'd be doing the little SportsCenter top 10 jingle right there. I mean, that was a web gem from Mr. Bozer at shortstop. 1 out in the inning. Here's Ferrer. James Tibbs, his teammate at Florida State, takes strike 1.
Well, I know Ryan Smythe was a little frustrated with the sloppy defense last night. On both sides, it was a very sloppy game. So he's certainly got to be happy that this team has played pretty clean defense first bunch of innings.
Eichhoff looking to bounce back, and maybe a little too early to say here after Tibbs hit the leadoff home run, but he's kept his composure. He's bounced back nicely after facing some adversity, and now all 4 frames of work. Has not had a clean 1-2-3 inning yet. 0-2 up and in. Ferrer spins out. Jaime Ferrer and Bobby Bozer were travel ball teammates in Florida growing up. Both going to different schools inside the state. Bozer at shortstop at South Florida, Ferrer at Florida State. Strike 3 on the inside corner, and Eichhoff freezes Ferrer for out number 2.
Well, he gave up the home run, but now he's rebounded very nicely. Had some help from his defense, but he's still retired. 7 of the last 9 batters he's faced. That's pretty good.
And he's moving along in this game, too. White fouls it off the mask of Hernandez, who's crunched down. He's going to shake it off. Yachty's got some family here. We mentioned that to you earlier in the game. Yachty just getting back from a trip, an official visit he took. He's in the transfer portal, looking to find a new home. He says it's been great being recruited by new coaches, having them show their appreciation for him, for what he can do. 0-1, cue shot left side. Will chase Hernandez into foul territory.
And he does it at the same time his brother's being recruited at a high school, so got to be A, stressful, but B, pretty cool for the Hernandez family, with 2 of their boys being recruited at once.
Eichhoff, the first Gatemen pitcher in the last 6 games to get through 4 innings of work. And he completes it with the strikeout of Mason White. Look at me speaking that one into existence. 2 punch-outs in the inning for Riley Eichhoff. He works around a leadoff homer, so 1 run on 1 hit, 0 errors, and 0 left for the Whitecaps in the top of the 4th. We go to the bottom now. It's Wareham 4, Brewster 2 here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The long balls are flying here at Spillane Field. 3 so far between these 2 teams. A lot of offense, and it's been fun to be a part of here on a wonderful Friday night from Spillane Field in Wareham, Massachusetts. It's game 23 of the season for both of these ball clubs, and we have it for you here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Dorian Gonzalez leading off for Wareham in the bottom of the 4th, and he takes ball 1. Good to be with my broadcast partner, Aiden Blank, our sideline reporter, Amanda Foster, and all the great men and women behind the scenes. 1-0, hit well to center field. Retreating is the center fielder Turner. He's under it, a few steps in front of the wall for out number 1.
Shortstop, number 6, Bobby Bozer from South Florida.
And after Bobby Bozer made a web gem in the top of the 4th, we're going to make a push to get that thing on Sports Center.
Yeah.
He comes to the plate here. First pitch curveball skips in front of the plate and over our heads, clanking against the fence in front of us up here in the John Wild press box. So Brewster has hit 2 solo home runs to Wareham's 1 home run, but Stevenson's was a 3-run homer. That partly explains the 4-2 lead. Bozer sends one well right side. Ferrer going back, and his travel ball teammate Jaime Ferrer will make the catch for out number 2. 2 quick flyouts.
Catcher, number 24,
and Austin Gordon starting to get in a
Seton
groove,
Hall.
starting to pitch to contact. He retired the last 2 hitters in the 2nd inning, went 3 up, 3 down in the 3rd, and it's gone 2 up, 2 down here in the 4th. Hernandez with a big swing, fouls it. Not going to see Yachty Hernandez shorten up at the plate too many times. He's a guy that when he's swinging hard. A really solid crowd on hand tonight at Spillane Field. You can usually get a little bit of a litmus test for it, seeing how many people are out there in the left center field bleachers. This may be the most people we've seen up in that area behind the Gatemen bullpen and in those bleachers. 0-2 skips to the plate. Good take by Hernandez. Josh Stevenson, the man of the hour, on deck. Hernandez staying alive, and Aiden, we said game 23 of the year, didn't even mention that we are now over halfway done with the season.
Yeah, welcome to the second half. That's not the half that counts, I won't say that, but the half that will decide who advances into the Cape League playoffs. And right now, both of these teams would be in, but just barely. Chatham and Falmouth both starting to play well.
Now an even count. Brewster with this 3-game winning streak has giving themselves some space between themselves and Chatham. A 7-point advantage between the 4 and the 5 spots in the East, and in the West, Wareham only up on 5th place Falmouth by 2 points. So gonna do some scoreboard watching for the rest of the year. Hernandez laying off a few breaking balls from Gordon. He's worked himself a full count.
And as we talked about in the pregame show, the West Division is just so stacked. There is no one team that's been head and shoulders above the rest. Yes, Katuitt, but they've started to fall back down to earth too.
Pop up on the infield. A conference coming in. This one is going to be the shortstop White to grab it as Diaz and Green look on. So the Gatemen go 1, 2, 3 again here in the 4th inning. We're moving along. We go to the 5th now. It's 4-2 Wareham on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Back here in now the top of the 5th, and we're joined by a very special guest. It's Gatemen Cape League champion in 2012 and Cape League Hall of Famer Tyler Horan. Tyler, how are you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So for the Whitecaps, 9-1-2 to up. Eichhoff's first pitch, a swing and a miss. So Tyler, how does it feel to be back here at Spillane Field? I know you didn't grow up too far from here, but how does it feel to be back?
Yeah, no, I'm still right down the street. It's a 20-minute drive to here. It's a little different view from the press box than from what I'm used to seeing the field, but it's great to be back.
So you were a Cape League champion 2012. One of the games, Game 3 against YD, that'll go down as kind of the all-time Cape League games. How did it feel to be a part of that?
Oh, that was great. That was awesome. Made a lot of great friends that year. I mean, we had Schwarb, Polka, all these great name guys. It was awesome.
You still keep in touch with any of them?
Here and there, I'll touch base with them. I know Polka's playing with the Woo Sox over here in Worcester, so I got to get out and see him. But yeah, some of these guys, especially not even just here, but just throughout the baseball family, you get to meet a lot of cool people that you stay in touch with throughout the rest of your life.
Peyton Green struck out, now back to the top, and Will Turner, he takes strike 1. So a lot of people see the video of Kyle Schwarber hitting that go-ahead home run in the 10th inning, but a lot of people don't know you followed him hitting a home run after that. What was that game like, that inning like, when you guys hit those 2 home runs to go ahead?
Well, I was just reminded about, I guess we were down, I think, 3 or 4 runs going into that 9th inning, and we had a rally. I think Mott Hyde hit a home run, a couple of 2-run home run or so, tied it up, went forward, and I think YD thought they had it, and that just wasn't our forte that year. The Wareham Gatemen, we grounded out and got to that. Was it the 10th inning? I think it was.
Yeah, 10th inning. You hit a home run at the top of the 10th with Schwarber right after he hit that big home run that everybody sees.
Schwarber hit the first one to go ahead and got us all psyched up, and I think I hit one to kind of solidify, give us a little cushion at least going into that last inning.
Tyler, what's changed about the league, and maybe something similar as you come back to Spillane? I don't know how often you get back here, but what have been the changes and something maybe that you remember that was here when you played?
You know, not much has changed from what I see. I know some of the rules. I see the catchers have earpieces now. That's a lot different. I'm sure they're getting pitches called that way. We'd just be a number caller, signs with the hat and all that, but I'd say that's the biggest difference. Other than that, I think all the players are out here having a good time in the Cape.
So Riley Eichhoff serves up a walk to Will Turner. Davis Diaz will come to the plate as Hernandez and Eichhoff meet on the mound. Tyler Horan, Cape League Hall of Famer with us, 2012 Wareham Gatemen champion. So Tyler, one of the reasons why you were in the 2020 Hall of Fame class, you tied the single season record, the Woodbat record, 16 homers in a season. What was it like to chase that record and ending up tying it on one of the last days of the season?
Oh, that was fun. But to be honest, when you're out there playing, the only way you get to chase a record like that is you're not thinking about it. If you're thinking about a record like that, you're not really going to catch up to it. It puts too much pressure. You just got to get out there and swing at the pitch that you like. Swing at fastballs for me in particular. Cooper Farris was our coach that year. He was great at letting me know, like, hey, this is a great fastball count. This is the ones you got to jump on. And he was so good, I had a lot of trust in him, and that's a lot, helped me out a lot going forward.
Well, speaking of coaches, we learned today you got to kind of experience the OG Chevin Smythe, not in the Cape League, but in the NECBL with the Westerners. What was it like? I mean, they were starting out in summer ball at that point. You know, now they're both seasoned vets. What was it like experiencing kind of that first round and getting to play for them?
Yeah, I mean, how about that? I didn't even know. I knew Chev was out here, but I didn't know that Ryan was over here now. And to be at the game that they're both coaching, that was awesome. I got to catch up with both of those guys, but they were awesome coaches in the NECBL, which is also a very good league too, over in Danbury. But oh man, it was so good catching up with those guys. It's been 10 plus years at this point since I've seen them last.
Strike on the outside corner. Eichhoff facing Davis Diaz with one out here. Tyler Horan joining us here up in the John Wild press box. And Tyler, what are you up to these days after you're now in the latter half? You're done with your professional career. Obviously, you're far removed from the Cape League. What are you up to now?
Yeah, so now I'm here and there. I'll give a lesson once in a while, do a little bit of coaching, but for the most part, I'm doing construction.
The fair ball down the line. Diaz shoots it fair. Turner's going to come around and try to score. The relay is not going to be made. Gonzalez throws it back to second. They've got Diaz hung up in between second and third. In the pickle now to Bozer. And Diaz have a pause. They're going to call him out of the baseline, and he's going to be out for the second out. But the run does score. And it is now 4-3 here. Has anything changed about Spillane Field since the last time you were here?
Left fielder
Still the
number
same
11,
old Stone
Josh
Dust that
Pearson
is.
from LSU.
Was Mary still doing the uniforms back in the day when you played?
I'm not sure who's doing them, but yeah, the Stone Dust is the same. That scoreboard out in right center is definitely a little different. I think we had just normal old light bulbs out there when I was playing.
Well, I'm going to guess that you were one of her favorite players because you live locally and lived locally at the time. She didn't have to get you a bed. I think that's probably her favorite thing about you.
Yeah, definitely. That was it. Yeah, I lived at Mom and Dad's house, and that was the easiest part of the summer for sure. Home cooked meals all year long.
2 outs in the inning. Josh Pearson at the plate. He's done some damage so far. Brewster pulling it within 1 run now after the RBI double from Davis Diaz. And Tyler, 100 years of Cape Cod League baseball. This is pretty cool, isn't it? The league's made 100 years.
It is, and it's very prestigious, and it's stayed as the top league for as long as I can remember. There's movies about it and everything. I mean, it's for these guys to be out here, it's a privilege for them, and I think they all know that.
2-1 count now to Pearson. He's 2 for 2, had a homer in the first, a single in the third inning. Eichhoff's trying to get through 6 complete innings. Takes a little off and gets a swing and a miss. First pitch, a little high and out. Have you thrown a little at all recently, or get the nerves get you there? Or?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've thrown a ball. I'll probably go home and ice the shoulder a little bit, but it's definitely been a while. I do more running machines now than I do throwing baseball.
A beautiful spinner for Eichhoff, and that will end the inning. So Tyler, I appreciate you joining us here in the top of the 5th. We'll let you go.
Thank you guys for having me.
The Whitecaps pull within 1. We're going to go to the bottom of the 5th now. It's 4-3, Wareham on top. So Eichhoff threw 5 strong, staying corrected there. We go now to the bottom of the 5th, and to take you the rest of the way, here's Aiden Blank. Aiden?
Yeah, Jake Marshall is going to enter the game out of Rutgers. Baldwinsville, New York native, and he gets an opportunity to pitch
and discover the beauty of Cape Cod.
His 3rd game on the Cape. 0-1, 4.32 ERA in 2 starts. 8 1/3 innings pitched, so this will be his first action out of the bullpen. Gatemen will send up 9-1-2. Stevenson, McLean, Caulfield.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Now pitching for Brewster, number 55.
Last outing for Marshall was at Orleans, a 4-2 loss. He took the loss, going 4 1/3 back on June 21st.
A pretty solid outing for Austin Gordon. He obviously gave up that big 3-run home run in the 2nd inning, but outside of that, he was really solid. He retired the last 8 batters he faced.
Came out of Lemoyne College in 2022 as the NE10 Southwest Division Pitcher of the Year, all-conference first team. 10 starts with Rutgers in the spring.
Ohio State.
Going to a 4.94 ERA in 51 innings with 60 strikeouts. He really came into his own at the end of the season. 3.32 ERA in his final 7 games, roughly 19 innings to close out the season. He really had a strong finish in New Brunswick. Batter is Josh Stevenson, has a home run to his name already, and leads off out of his left side to start the bottom of the 5th. Wareham 4, Brewster 3. Happy to have you with us on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Stevenson lays down a great bunt, charging, throwing, not in time. It pulls Jones off the bag, and Stevenson with a crafty little bunt single to start off the 5th.
You can tell bunting
Right
is a
fielder,
big
number
part
15, Nick
of
McLean
Josh
from
Stevenson's
Arizona
game, because
State.
he shows bunt pretty much first pitch every at bat and laid down a great one there. It was a great play by Davis Diaz, the athletic third baseman, but just late.
Batter now is Nick McLean. Back to the top of the order we go. Right fielder out of Arizona State. Couple of flyouts to third base for him today. He's 0 for 2. First pitch to him, rocketed right field on the chase for Rare, and it's over his head, bouncing to the fence. McLean rounds, he'll go to second, pulling in with a double. It advances Stevenson all the way to third. 2 runners in scoring position and nobody out. Wareham's in business, 2 batters into the 5th.
Second baseman, number 20,
And during that
Darren
losing
Caulfield
streak, we
from
talked
Arizona.
about the struggles the Gatemen had late in the game. Facing bullpens, 1 to 2 hits. Bullpen would go out there for 5 innings. The last 2 games, the Gatemen have been putting the pressure on opposing teams' bullpens, and a great start to the night doing that here with 2 runners on base and in scoring position with nobody out.
McLean's on second, Stevenson's on third, and here's Darren Caulfield. Second baseman out of Arizona, walked in the first, thrown out trying to score what would have been the opening run of the game. First pitch to him, low and away, 1 ball and no strikes. So early on, Gatemen jumping on Marshall early and counts. Both of these batters come up swinging. Now the third hitter in the inning, Caulfield, on a 1-0 count, takes it high, 2-0. Caulfield walked, as we mentioned, in the first and then grounded out. Back in the second inning, righty stands in. Cox's bat, chops it to short. White looks back the runner, they throw, and it's not in time. Everybody's safe. Interesting decision there by the shortstop White. First of all, the infield was in trying to cut off a potential run.
First baseman,
He checked back Stevenson to try and get the lead runner at third, and it didn't work. So Caulfield's going to reach on a fielder's choice. The base is now loaded for Grant Hussey.
Yeah, that's not a great play there by Mason White. The first part of the play was very correct, looking back the runner, but Stevenson wasn't that far off the bag. It looked like he wasn't going anywhere. So now an opportunity for the Huss Bus with the bases juiced.
Hussey with the bases loaded. Caulfield, McLean, Stevenson on the pond, and he's way out in front of the first pitch he sees, waving a miss, 0-1. Everybody getting short leads. Middle infield back at double play depth. Corners are in. 0-1. Takes it low and outside. A check swing, 1-1. Lawson Harrell waits on deck. Another dangerous hitter to get up with a lot of runners on like they have now. 1-1. Nobody out. Bases loaded. Wareham 4, Brewster 3. Bottom of the 5th. Pitch, Hussey on the ground to second base. Green up with it, only plays to first. Run will score. Hussey gets an RBI on a 4-3 ground out.
A productive at-bat from Grant Hussey. You obviously want him to hit that grand slam, you want him to kill the ball, but he did the job. A good play
Left fielder, number 10,
at second base by
Lawson
Green.
Harrell from Campbell.
You know, some people say, oh, he's got to get that runner at second, but after that last play where White couldn't get an out, the biggest priority here is just getting out. Trust your pitcher Marshall here. Try to get him a second out here with still 2 runners in scoring position.
Lawson Harrell comes up, cuts and misses. 0-1. He's 0 for 2. Ground out and a strikeout. Not a guy that's easy to keep down too often. Stands a little bit further up in the righty box. Slashes one foul right side. It goes out of play beyond the first base grandstands. The count's 0-2. Wareham and YD tomorrow. Final trip of the season to Red Wilson Field. Unless, of course, there's a Cape League Championship Series. We just had Tyler up here talking about his experience playing YD in the finals. The 0-2 slides out and away. 1-2.
Marshall has a fastball, slider, and changeup. Righty's going to see the slider more. Lefty's going to see the changeup more. Not anything out of the ordinary.
1-2. Chest high set. Deals it low. Good block by Berg behind the plate. It's now 2-2.
A little bit of a snafu up here. Marshall normally wears 54, so he's wearing 55 tonight. Thank you to Jack Board and Brewster broadcaster for alerting us of that, but it's now finally getting its way up here.
The 2-2. Grounded, left side, fair ball, down the line. It goes all the way towards the fence. Backhanded by Pearson. 2 runs are in. Rolling in with an RBI double is Lawson Harrell. 7-3. Gatemen are back in front. Well, that was a piece of hitting that was just magnificent. Gets it
Designated hitter
right
number
by a
3,
diving
Sebastian
Diaz, who made a
Murillo from
valiant
Georgia.
effort to get it. Scores Stevenson, scores McLean. Or rather, Stevenson was in, scores McLean and Caulfield. And now puts Harrell on base for Sebastian Murillo. Singled, scored a run back in the second inning. Righty takes an inner third strike, 0-1.
Great job by Harrell. First game or so looked a little bit off, especially when being thrown sliders. He took a slider there and hammered it down the third base side. 2 doubles now in his short stint.
Little waggle in his legs. Now sets the stance. A lot of weight on that back leg. Waiting to load the 0-1. Low in the dirt, gets by Berg, and that's just enough for Harrell to go sliding head first into third. Has himself a stolen base. Berg kept it near him, but couldn't quite get to it. Looks like they're going to give him a wild pitch. So that'll advance Harrell to just 90 feet away from home. Batter is Murillo with an opportunity to drive him in. 1-1 of the Georgia Bulldog, who climbs back in, taps the plate twice, takes a deep breath. Now Cox loads with the infield in, trying to cut off the run. 1-1, swing and a miss, high heat, 1-2. Sebastian has all 4 infielders in on the grass, so if he can hit it hard, he could get a base hit out of it. 1-2, high set for Marshall. Now steps home. Called, strike 3. Murillo goes down looking. 2 out in the inning now for Dorian Gonzalez, who will try to bring in that 1 runner left on
Dorian Gonzalez
for Wareham,
from
who has
Miami.
only left 2 on today. That's a very welcome sign as the first pitch pushes Dorian back low at the shoes, 1-0. Wareham has had a little bit of struggles leaving the bases loaded, leaving a couple of runners on, especially during that 5-game losing streak. It felt like every single game there were multiple innings you could point to. Ground ball right side, fielded by Jones, and it's botched. Into right field it goes. Scoring is Harrell. Base hit, it's an RBI for Dorian, 8-3.
Good job by Dorian pressing the issue regardless of how that's scored. A great job by
Shortstop number
Gonzalez
6,
to just
Bobby
put the
Boser
bat on the
from
ball, and
South
good things can
Florida.
happen when you hit it hard enough. You might find a hole, and they found the 5-hole of Jones.
The Gatemen won the inaugural matchup here between these two teams 9-2. They lead this one 8-3, and we're still only in the 5th inning. 1-0, Dorian gets a weird jump. Now the throw back. He's a dead duck, but he slides in safely. Wow. He looked like a dead duck over there. Kind of got a weird jump. Maybe the signals got crossed, but he slides in just ahead of the tag. He gets another sizable lead. The count is a ball and no strikes to Bobby Boser, the 8th batter in the inning for Wareham. 1-0, runners on. Boser punches it foul behind us, 1-1.
And Murillo almost got backpicked there because he's taken a big secondary lead with 2 outs in the inning. If Boser splits a gap or even gets one in the middle, Murillo's going to be moving on contact, so he wants to get the big secondary lead, wants to be able to move and try to score maybe on a double.
They're going to give Dorian a base hit. Wareham's 4th of the inning. They fire high over to first. Jones gloves it. Dorian safe. 4:45 start in YD tomorrow. The second game in this stretch of 4 East Division opponents, or rather 3 East Division opponents in 4 games. Looks 0-2. Punched in the air, left field and deep. Back goes Pearson at the wall, just in front of the wall, makes the catch. But the Gatemen have done some damage in this inning. They come across with 4 runs. They're going to do it on 4 hits. There are no errors, and there is 1 runner left on base. 5th inning is in the books, and Wareham has jumped out to a sizable lead. It's 8-3 Gatemen on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Welcome back to Spillane Field. We go to the top of the 6th inning, and Wareham has jumped out to an 8-3 lead. A terrific offensive night for the Gatemen with Jack Hunter, Amanda Foster, I'm Aiden Blank, and Jack, it's another outing for Jake Faherty. The Arkansas product will take the mound in relief after Eichhoff is able to get Wareham through 5 innings.
Yeah, Faherty last pitched just 2 days ago on Wednesday against the Bourne Braves at Bourne. He fired. He got 2 outs, 0 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, 1 strikeout. He'll be appearing in his 5th game today. And how about Riley Eichhoff? We talked about how a Gatemen pitcher had not gotten an out in the 4th inning in over a week. Eichhoff got through 5 strong. He conceded 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 punch outs. He's not going to get credit for the quality start per se, because you need 6 innings to do that, but very quality outing in my book for Riley Eichhoff, who gives the Gatemen bullpen a little bit of leeway here. The first guy coming out of the pen is here in the 6th inning.
Faherty, as we mentioned, hailing from Arkansas, though he was born in Georgetown, Kentucky, has dealt with his share of injuries, as we've reported, on the mound in college, but has seen some action with Wareham. 4 games this summer for him at a 4.50 ERA. 4 innings pitched. As Jack mentioned, the most recent coming just 2 days ago against Bourne. A quicker turnaround than we're used to seeing out of this bullpen, though he only went 2/3 of an inning.
Yeah, only 2 outs, so that's why he's going to be able to come back here today. And the Gatemen bullpen has been taxed too, so it's not like they have the luxury of just throwing a whole bunch of other guys out there.
Jared Jones. No, it's Josh Pearson to lead things off. No, Derek Berg. Time is quickly called. Berg, the catcher. Low in the dirt, ball 1. Part of an Army team that has really dominated the Patriot League circle. 5 straight Patriot League titles for the Black Knights. Keep going to the NCAA tournament. Very gritty squad they got in New York. Ball slides away, 2-1.
Yeah, I'm sure the Army baseball team doesn't have any issues with teamwork or team chemistry. That's something that program and the head coach there has probably been pretty blessed with.
2-1. Faherty, that Kershaw-esque set, lifts it above and then lowers. Fires a strike on the inner third, 2-2. That ball at 89, much less velocity than we're used to seeing with him.
Yeah, well, that was a cutter there. So Faherty, fastball, 4-seamer in the mid to upper 90s, a cutter, and then a slider a little bit slower than that.
2-2, nobody out. Just underway in the 6th inning. 8-3 Gatemen lead off the end of the bat. Over towards short from the hole. Bozer throws him out again. Oh, man. Bobby Bozer has had a career kind of night at shortstop. 2 plays that have really helped out the pitching staff, and it's 1 out in the 6th thanks to some Jeter-esque play from Bozer.
Well, Bobby Bozer's favorite player growing up, Derek Jeter, so that's a good comparison there. And I do want to give some credit to Grant Hussey, who hit the splits there to save that out just like he saved the first one.
Yeah, Hussey deserves on both of those plays just as much credit as Bozer, because he has gotten down to get it. first pitch fouled away. Batter is James Tibbs, who homered in the fourth.
And for Bobby, too, he's been dealing with a little bit of a thumb infection on his throwing hand, which has made it a little bit more difficult for him to throw the ball. He's kind of shaking his hand out there, so even more wrinkled play.
Tibbs is now homered in back-to-back games. Ball is high, 1-1. Was 2 for 5 with a home run and 2 runs batted in last time out. He also leads the team in walks and strikeouts. Hit his 4th home run of the season last at bat. Fouls that ball back to the backstop. 1-2. Sizable crowd tonight here in Wareham. You got to think, just eyeballing it, this is one of the largest crowds of the year. Even the bleachers, which are usually, sparse in attendance, seeing a whole bunch of fans out for the 100th anniversary. A great Friday night for baseball. 1-2, chopped right side, fielded by Hussey, who walks it over for out number 2.
Grant has really put on a defensive clinic at first base, and first base is one of those positions where
number 51,
you don't really
Jones
notice
from
elite
LSU.
first basemen defensively a lot of the time, but they add so much to the ball club. You saw Hussey stretching out, completing those 2 magnificent plays when all the eyes were on Bozer at shortstop. There, a more routine ground ball, but he positions it rightly, so he's right there. He pauses, waits on it to make the snag in the glove and step on the bag.
So here's the Bear, Jarrett Jones. Strike 1 down the middle, 0-1. We've talked about how great he's done at LSU, and that was entirely expected. He was the #1 catcher in Georgia his senior season of high school, ranked by Perfect Game. 47th overall, not just in his position, but as a prospect. The 47th top best prospect in the country, ranked by Perfect Game. The count is 0-2.
So the Bear nickname not actually coming from how big he is, but it certainly fits him as well.
0-2, climbs back on in. He's got something in his back pocket there. The 0-2 on the way from Faherty. Low in the dirt, 1-2.
Yeah, he's got the oven mitt that everybody loves to wear these days. You get on base, you put it on your hand so you don't break your fingers when you slide into bases.
Faherty, obviously still yet to get out of this inning, has had a very clean inning. Mostly thanks to some really good defense from Bobby Bozer and Grant Hussey. Sets again, lowers below the belt. Now steps in with a 1-2. Fouled. Got a piece of Yadi Hernandez behind the dish. He'll walk it off, and we'll do another 1-2 pitch. Jones with a walk and a ground out on his day. Was 0 for 3 last time he appeared in a Whitecaps uniform. 3 strikeouts, so good start to his day, trying to bounce back. He's putting the ball in play. Just more than he did the last time he was out. 1-2. Middle infielder's back. And grounds it foul, and a great play by Mike Mobbs in the first base dugout. How about that? He's not just a hitting coach, folks. He can field the ball, too. And he didn't even flinch. He fielded it with one hand, bare hand. We'll do another 1-2 with Jones. Faherty readies, breathes, delivers. Swing and a miss. Hard to catch up to 97 even when it's that high in the zone. A great 1-2-3 inning off the arm of Jake Faherty. Whitecaps go down in order in the 6th inning. Let's go to the last of it. Wareham in front 8-3 on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Welcome back. The Gatemen sent 8 batters to the plate in the 5th. The only batter that didn't hit was Yadi Hernandez. For more on Yadi before he leads off this inning, here's our sideline reporter, Amanda Foster. Amanda?
Well, guys, Yadi Hernandez has very quickly made a name for himself out here on the Cape League in the way that he plays the game behind the plate. His reflexes are almost cat-like with the way that he's able to move around and stop the ball from getting past him. And I talked to him about how exactly he does that and how he prepares for that before the game today. Besides just a very intense pre-game ritual with lots of stretching and warming up, he says he likes to let his body just do what it does and have his mind relax. He's very big into mindset and likes to keep things very simple. So the thing for him behind the plate is to just not think too much and let his body react to the pitches that are coming in. Guys.
Thanks very much, Amanda. Yadi will be the first to see the new pitcher for Brewster. That's number 15, Tyler Mudd. He enters this ball game out of Holy Cross. It will be his 5th appearance with Brewster this summer. Took a decision in the first game he appeared in back on June 12th, a loss at YD. Since then has gone 5 innings without an earned run. In that stretch has allowed just 5 hits with 2 walks and 7 strikeouts. So after a less than ideal start to his season, going a little bit longer out of the bullpen, he's appeared in 3 more games and done fairly well for himself. He'll face Hernandez, Stevenson, and McLean as they come up in the last of the 6.
And if you're a fan of interesting splits, I've got one for you. The Brewster Whitecaps as a team at home this year have pitched to a 3.15 ERA, which is fantastic. On the road, a 6.10 ERA, that trend continuing tonight.
First pitch, Yadi takes a strike. Catcher singled and scored a run in the second, and flew out in that 1-2-3 inning that came in the bottom of the 4th. 0-1, takes a pitch outside, 1-1. As we mentioned, a very lively atmosphere at Spillane Field tonight. A lot of kids who celebrate 100 years of Cape Cod baseball. Checks his swing, the pitch sails right down Broadway. The count's 1-2. 8-3 Gatemen lead. They have had a knack for putting big numbers up at this field against the Brewster Whitecaps. Hernandez takes it back up the middle, but it's elevated up to Turner in center for out number 1.
Center fielder number 16,
so an F8
Josh
for the
Stevenson
catcher
from Ohio State.
Sets up Stevenson, who has had a great day. He's not seen a ton of at-bats since returning from his trip to Ohio State, where he eventually committed, but clear he's back. Home run in the 2nd, single, and scored a run in the 5th. Ball in the dirt. Gets away from Berg, 1 ball and no strikes. Stevenson, McLean, and Caulfield, you could make the argument those are the most dangerous 3 hitters to hit back to back in this league.
Yeah, and for Stevenson too, a fun little aspect of this game is a lot of his LSU teammates are finally starting to get up here to the Cape. Stevenson getting an early jump, not joining the team for the postseason. So 2 LSU guys he got to see today, Jared Jones and Josh Pearson for the first time.
1-0, strike down the middle, eyed to make it 1-1, a level count. More on Mudd, only pitched in 4 games this spring. Cut and a miss, 1-2. Beg your pardon, 2 games in the spring at Holy Cross. 2 games this summer with the Worcester Bravehearts of the Futures League. He mainly played the outfield at Holy Cross prior to 2023. In 2022, 52 games in the outfield, pitched just off the outer edge, 2-2. He threw an inning last year with the Falmouth Commodores. He has played in the Futures League, the NECBL, and the Cape League. Little bouncer over towards second. Ranging across his body, Green throws out the runner at first. 2 quick outs for Gordon. I beg your pardon, for
Right
Mudd.
fielder number 15,
2 down.
Nick McLean from
Well,
Arizona
I realize
State.
I'm probably going to jinx this when I say this, so I'm going to knock on the wood in front of me. But after the fans here last night saw 19 walks between the 2 pitching staffs, including 14 from the Wareham pitching staff, this game tonight, only 4 walks between the 2 staffs so far.
Batter is Nick McLean. Ball into the dirt. Gets away from Berg, 1-0. Nick with a huge double in the 5th inning. Eventually came around to score. Now a strike, Count evens out at 1-1. Wareham and Brewster for the third of 4 times in the regular season this summer. Back up the middle, McLean has a second hit as it squeaks into center field. A bouncing ball that splits the middle infield and allows him to reach with a 2-out single.
Second baseman, number 20, Garen Caulfield from Arizona.
Garen Caulfield comes up to the plate out of Arizona. Of course, the Whitecaps are the 2-time defending champs in the East rather. Won the championship in 2021 rather, over the Bourne Braves. Pitch on the way, hit hard and foul down the right field line. Into the ground and dropping is Ferrer. He caught it in fair territory. McLean is charging around third. The throw in is not in time. Ferrer caught it and dropped it just before the foul line. It should go down as an E9, and it brings in McLean to make it 9-3.
First baseman, number 27, Grant Hussey from West Virginia.
On that,
well,
that's
I don't see how you score that a hit.
That's why you run hard out of the box.
Wow. Gonna give him a single plus an error. Puts Caulfield on second base. Called strike to Hussey. Well, that's kind of how Wareham has won these games this summer. It's been a little bit of luck, a little bit of good hitting, and a whole lot of hard work. I mean, McLean just flew out of the box with 2 outs there. Ball bounces in front of Berg. If there's not 2 outs and he has to wait on base, he's definitely not getting home.
And this Wareham lineup's really starting to come together strong. First part of the year, guys coming in, guys coming out, hard to really establish some rhythm. Now for the second game in a row, you feel like you have a lineup that you can really compete with.
Swing and a miss, all arms from Hussey, 1 and 2.
This lineup is deep. There are not a lot of outs, not a lot of spots in the order where you can say, okay, I can get an out there, I can get another out there. 1 through 9, the guys are really scheduled perfectly.
Mud ready, steals. Chopped up the middle, another tough play, ranging over White, catches beyond the second base bag, makes the throw to first, 6-3 putout, concludes the 6th inning. But the Gatemen get a wacky run. They're gonna get it on 2 hits with 1 error, and they'll leave a runner on base. Let's go to the 7th. Gatemen in full control, 9-3 Wareham on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Face the bottom of this order, Jaime Ferrer, Mason White, Peyton Green.
How big would it be if the Gatemen can start to establish Jake Faraday as a regular member of this bullpen? You think he's got a lot of innings in him because he didn't really pitch at all this spring for Arkansas. And the big thing with him has always just been consistency, has always been, can he throw strikes? And if you can tunnel his stuff and get him to be in the strike zone more, you're talking about a guy that's got MLB potential.
Faraday hit 97 on the gun with his final pitch of the 6th inning. First pitch on the way, up the middle, curving into center, and drops down on Stevenson. That ball had a lot of riz on it. Drops down in front of Stevenson for Ferrer's first hit of the inning.
Yeah, that was smoked 101 off the bat, and it was a sinking line drive too. So Stevenson thought about going and trying to dive for it, but the problem is he made a smart decision. The problem is if he dives for it and gets past him, there's really nobody there to back him up, and there might be a runner on third or a runner across here.
Here's Mason White with a runner on first. Nobody out. Underway in the 7th. Ball outside, 1-0. Faraday, that iconic look. He's got the goggles. That's kind of become his signature look this summer. Yachty calls time behind the plate. He'll go meet briefly on the mound with his pitcher. 1-0, nobody out. Runner on first here in the 7th. Wareham in a very comfortable position, 9-3. After a 5-game losing streak, they've rebounded with some really good offense. Last 2 nights, and we're not even through 18 full innings. Their total, now 18 runs.
Yeah. And I think Hernandez, he's gone out to the mound a few times. The leadership he has really been put on display. You know, he was not supposed to catch tonight. Tommy Splain was a late scratch. Nothing's really wrong with him, just taking another day, but Hernandez stepping in.
1-0, tapped off the plate, rolls to the backstop, 1-1.
So the fact that Yadi's able to step in, late notice, catch, he's obviously holding his own at the plate. He's got really all the tools. I can't see why there wouldn't be a Power 5 coach that would want his services.
Yadi is, to our knowledge, the only one in the portal that still has not picked a school. Fouled hard, past the bleachers, third base side, and goes out of play down the left field line at 1-2. Gatemen have had some transfers this summer, some of whom are with the team still, some of whom were back in the beginning of the season, but Yadi is the only one that is still in the portal. 1-2, just off the inside corner, 2-2.
Well, great sign, first of all. Farady's command looks to be pretty solid tonight, but another 96-mile-an-hour fastball. That velocity is playing to take up tonight.
Yeah, velocity has never really been a problem with Faraday. And if he can drop a pitch there, you know, in the high 80s after throwing 97, that's a great punch-out pitch. Fouled away, another one slicing third base side. That one goes down to 90, so he just dropped 6 miles an hour off that pitch. He's a tough guy to hit when he's on. Sets at the belt. Runner on first, 2-2. Inside. Great hold up from White. Jackknifes out of it, and the count runs full.
Yeah, those are two examples of his cutters. You know, some people call it a really tight slider. It's a very similar pitch. It all just depends on kind of how far across the ball you come. But he changes speeds very well with it.
3-2 payoff. Hit in the air, right center field. McLean going over. It's going to drop in front of him for a base hit. Everybody gets 90 feet. So back-to-back singles. Faraday loses a tough battle there. Credit to White, who did not go down
Second baseman, number 6.
despite having multiple two-strike pitches thrown at him. And now sets the table for Peyton Green. Runners on first and second. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th. If Brewster wants to start chipping away at the lead, this would be a great place to do it. With Faraday running into a little bit of trouble. The righty digs in. Second baseman with 2 strikeouts to his name today. First pitch to him. Lands in the zone, 0-1. That's at 83. That is a changeup if I ever saw one. 0-1.
There's a good slider there, where you see the spin rate pretty high up. That was kind of the pitch that goes off of his cutter. So the cutter in the high 80s, the slider in the low to mid 80s, and he works it off well. It sweeps a little bit more than the cutter. It's a little looser, but Yadi Hernandez got crossed up there, which made it look like it spun a lot more. And so he had to go out to the mound and explain it.
0-1. First and second, nobody out. Faraday lifts, looking to get out of some trouble here in the 7th. Pitch. Checked his swing, a strike low in the zone, 0-2. The Razorback facing off against Green. Great first inning. Trying to get out of the second. Hard foul ball right side, and the count remains at 0-2.
I'd love to see him try to go to the slider a little bit more. He's been going hard to get hitting him with 95, 96. He's been taking a little bit off with that cutter, but it's been up in the zone. Change somebody's eye level. Go with that slider. Try to dip it a little bit. Maybe try to skip it to the plate and try to coax a swing.
Green readies. 0-2. High, 1-2. A chaser pitch. He doesn't bite down on it. Now remains 1-2. 57 hits, a 274 average with NC State in the spring. It's a big part of the Wolfpack this year. Playing in 55 games. Cuts and misses. High heat 94. And for Faraday, that actually took a little bit off the pitch.
Yeah, well, the pitch that White hit into the right center field gap was 94. The difference here is that pitch was elevated a little bit more. So you get it a little up in the zone. It can be really hard for some of those hitters to get their hands to the ball and get the barrel through it. It kind of jumps on you a little quicker. So better location there, and now a big chance here at the top of the order.
Here's Will Turner, center fielder, as we turn the lineup over once again. Strike on the outer third. Turner a walk in the 5th, scored a run. That was his first time on base all day. So in 1, 9-3 game, Brewster threatening with an out here in the 7th inning. The pitch. Gets the strike despite Turner's attempt to sell it on the inside corner, 0-2. Ferrer's on second, White's on first. Ducks on the pond for the Whitecaps in the 7th inning. Just before stretch time, the 0-2. Slicing foul to the left of us. Waiting on deck is Davis Diaz. Only one Whitecap has, 2 Whitecaps have multiple hits tonight. Turner, Diaz, not the 2. 0-2. Fouled right back to us, just below that plexiglass that quote-unquote protects us. Count holds 0-2.
That thing is on its last 5. Aiden, aren't you responsible for helping that thing stay up now?
I'm trying. I will find somebody to call. This thing is, we've seen a couple of balls awfully close to us. My idea is we just open it up for a night. Bring a couple of gloves, see if we can't get it. Through the left side, that's going to split the 6-5 gap. In to score is Ferrer, despite a delayed throw. Turner pokes through a base hit, make it 9-4.
Turner, the South Alabama Jaguars, just a hit machine. He had 3 hits the last time these two teams met. Had 2 hits, 2 RBIs last night. Has reached base twice tonight. When you want a guy in your leadoff spot, you want a guy that's going to do exactly that. Get on base, work deep counts, and it's a good opportunity here for Faraday to really try to work out of the jam he's put himself in and get the line moving to the bottom.
1 out in the inning. Hussey declines to hold on the runner at first. Strike 1. Outer third, 0-1. Gatemen 9, Whitecaps 4, first of the 7. Faraday, a delayed set. Looks like a bug got at Diaz or something. It's become a staple of these late night games at Spillane Field. If you're gonna be here, once the lights go on, you gotta be prepared. Pitch sales high, 1-1. You gotta be prepared with bug spray.
Well, the thing that I learned this year is you gotta be prepared to put bug spray in your hair.
Yeah, our heads have gotten eaten.
It's like my new version of hairspray. Get out of the car and just, my hair's all nice now.
1-2. Faraday, a deep breath on the mound, looks back the runner at second and deals home and slides it outside. 2 balls and a strike. Hat's always a good option at any field in the Cape League, and Jack's got one on right now. The 2-1. Ground ball, low to the ground, up the middle, a snag and a backhand. There's one. Oh, they just missed a double play. Bobby Bozer came sailing in from shortstop, made a terrific backhand over to Garen Caulfield.
Left fielder number 11, Josh
Caulfield's
Pearson
relay to
from
Hussey at first,
LSU.
just delayed. Advances White to third base. Puts Turner out. And lets Diaz reach with a fielder's choice. That was some kind of defense from Bobby Bozer. And we've seen Sebastian Murillo play that position well. Bozer has played it even better tonight. First pitch, just tied out to Josh Pearson, LSU Tiger. We mentioned Pearson has not been here very long. He played 55 games at LSU in the spring. Pitch outside, 2-0.
Pearson, a guy that hit a home run in the deciding Game 3, the LSU blowout victory over the Florida Gators. And then in his first game here, a 3-run double. Second game here, a home run here in the first inning. How about staying hot?
2-0. High chopper. Caulfield gloves it at second and makes the easy toss over to first for the final out. Whitecaps get back a run. They do it on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left. We enter the 7th inning stretch. Let's go to the last of it here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Welcome back to Spillane Field. Leadoff batter is Lawson Harrell, the Campbell Camel. That's a mouthful. Leads off in the last of the 7th. Wareham looking for an extra insurance run. First pitch sail side. 1 ball and no strikes. Tyler Mudd out for his 2nd inning of work. Fouled away, 1-1. Mudd is a Massachusetts native. He's from Shrewsbury. I hope I said that right. Ball high, 2-1. His father, Michael, played at St. Lawrence University. Baseball in the family. The 2-1. Lawson takes an excellent breaking ball inside, but a strike, 2-2. Another pitch coming from Mudd, and a terrific one at that. Breaking ball that's cut on and missed. I mean, you can't find many better pitch sequences than what was just given from Mudd.
Yeah, he has had an issue elevating the fastball, and he turned that issue into a bright spot for him because he's able to tunnel that slider off of it. Pitches.
Cut and a miss. Sebastian Murillo swinging out of his shoes on the opening pitch of his at-bat. Seabass takes it high, 1-1.
You can tell this guy Mudd used to be an outfielder. I mean, he really rears back and chucks it. It's like kind of like he's trying to make a play at the plate from center field.
The 1-1. Checked his swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. There was no appeal over to first. He went around 1-2. Now takes one low, 2-2. Mudd has had an effective breaking ball so far in this inning. Kicks and fires. Breaking ball fought off right side, and it will go foul out of play. 2 finals to tell you about around the league. YD beat Bourne 4-3, so the Red Sox get 2 points. It was in 10 innings, so expect both YD and Wareham tomorrow to have maybe shortened bullpens. High 3-2. We don't know the YD starter yet, but Nolan Hughes is going for the Gatemen. He's going to need to give them a good 5 innings in his start, at the very least 4. 3-2, shot to right field. Over is Ferrer, and he makes the grab for out number 2.
Well, and for Hughes, the biggest obstacle in his last start was walks. He walked 7 batters in 3+ innings of work, so I think it's reasonable to expect that he could cut that in half. I mean, you can't obviously get to have 3.5, but, you know, around that 3.5, maybe either 3 or 4 mark. And if he can, I don't think there's any reason why he can't get to the 4th inning. He's got big-time stuff.
Ball inside, 1-0 to Dorian Gonzalez. Bourne has now lost back-to-back games. High strike called, it's 1-1.
How about that? Bourne wins 4 straight games by 1 run and now have lost 2 straight games by 1 run. 6 straight 1-run ball games. Scott Landers is going to need some heart medicine.
1-1, fought off left side, down the line. Here comes Pearson. Did he make the grab? We're waiting on a signal. I think he did. He did. So a 1-2-3 inning for the Gatemen in the last of the 7th. Get you the remainder of those scores and the top of the 8th when we come back. Wareham solidly in front, 9-3 Gatemen on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Welcome back. We go to the first of the 8th, and a Gatemen debut out of Utah Valley. Mitch Mueller will come on for his first appearance this season. Jack may be able to get 6 outs and get a win here.
Yeah, Mueller's a fastball in the low 90s guy. He throws it a lot, too. He's got a slider. He changes speeds with it well. Considerate dip and velocity from that. He's got a curveball and a changeup. as well. He's got starter arsenal worth of stuff. He's not just a two-pitch guy. He pitched 1 year at Winona State, 1 year at Parkland College before his last year, and pitching at Utah Valley. Numbers are a little up and down, but he did show a lot of flashes, and that's why he's here. Let's see if he can get the Gatemen some outs. A long swing of the arm for him, and he's a pretty big guy, too, at 6'4".
Well, pitching-wise, and obviously the game still not done yet, this has been a very successful night for the Gatemen. Eichhoff able to go 5, Jake Faherty goes 2, and Mitch Mueller could potentially go 2 and finish this thing off. If you can get out of this allowing, with just 2 bullpen arms used, that's a very good night going to a weekend YD tomorrow. Get Faherty's final line as we roll along. Derek Berg, catcher, leads off. He has not had a ton of success today. Put the ball in play 3 times, but all 3 ended in groundouts. We also owe you the rest of the Cape League scoreboard, and we'll get that to you right now. As Berg gets ready. Makes a semi-practice swing. Wears the guard on his front leg. Mueller working exclusively from the stretch. Deals. Ball 1 low and out. First pitch coming in at 93. Katuitt beat Hyannis 8-6. That's the other final. And then, of course, besides this game, one other game going on across the league. The 1-0 fouled hard off the mask of Hernandez, who needs just a moment to recalibrate behind the plate. The other game going on right now is Harwich 5 and Orleans nothing in the bottom of the 6th at White House Field. And then the one game that never even got started, Falmouth and Chatham. They pushed it back to 7:30. The fog was too thick. Chatham is going to lose another off day. 1-1, nobody out. The pitch. High chopper. Off the glove of Hussey, who loses it and his sunglasses. Delayed throw from Caulfield. It's a little late. Hussey kind of got knocked up there trying to jump up in the air. Single from Berg. It's going to allow him to reach to start the 8th.
It was a good pitch by Mueller, and he was able to get the chopper, and Hussey, the ball just kind of popped out of his glove. He's been good defensively tonight, but now a little bit of a miscue there. We'll see how it's scored.
Here's Tibbs. Runner on first, nobody out. Squares to bunt and pops it up all the way over towards the school. It's 0-1.
Going to go down as a hit. And the Gatemen, the defense tonight has not been perfect, but I will say it's been very much improved compared to the last few nights. Still 0 errors on the board for the team.
Pierce in for the sign. Mueller sets. Above the belt. Quick deal off the end of the bat. Jam shot. They bobble it on the left side of the infield. Gonzalez twice kind of clutched it and dropped it out of his bare hand. And now 2 runners on.
Yeah, and 2 just bad luck singles for Mitch Mueller on the mound, and he's made some really good pitches, and obviously that's going to go down in the book as 2 singles off of him. He's just got to keep his head down and keep pitching well. He's gotten 2 ground balls. That one was blooped in the air a little bit, but if he can get another one here, he could get a double play and 2 outs.
Batter now is Jared Jones, first baseman, walked back in the 2nd. Pitch to him, fouled off the inside of the bat into the backstop, 0-1. Final line on Faherty. He goes 2 innings, gives up 3 hits, an earned run. Did not walk anybody, which I think is probably the biggest plus there, and struck out 2 in 9 batters faced. His stuff was good, and as you mentioned, he can be a big part of this team if they can find a way to work him in. 0-1, runners on first and second, nobody out, 9-4 Gatemen lead in the 8th. Cut and a miss. Ball that popped out of Hernandez's glove. Count is 0-2.
Great stuff by Mueller. I mean, the fastball's coming in at 93. It's got a lot of movement. It's got a lot of carry on it, and it's got a lot of a ride on it. And coming from that long arm swing, it's going to really jump on the hitter, and Jones is real choked up on the bat.
Ball is outside. Another block by Yachty behind the plate, 1-2. Set for Mueller on the mound. Readies with a runner on first and a runner on second. Brings it home. It's popped off the inside of the bat going foul. Cleared the press box. We were waiting to hear a thud on our roof, but it got behind us, so the count holds at 1-2. Eichhoff went 5 innings in this game. He's in line for the win. Not too many Gatemen starters have been eligible for wins this season. He would be one of them. A 1-2. Oh, what an excellent breaking ball. Swing and a miss. That thing dropped out of nowhere. First out of the inning, an excellent strikeout. Jones has now struck out twice in a row.
Yeah, it looked like the curveball there, and Jones, I mean, that's a sword if I've ever seen one. I talk about just a embarrassing-ish kind of protect the plate 2-strike swing. I'm sure he's going to kind of want that at bat back, but that speaks to how nasty Mueller is, and not an indictment on Jones. Jones is a very talented hitter.
Batter now is Mason White. No, it's Jaime Ferrer, Florida State right fielder. Strike one. 2 singles, scored a run in the 7th. Most recent run of this ball game. First and second, 1 out. Middle infield back towards double play depth. Excuse me swing, very delayed, and taps it just off the plate. 0-2. Gatemen play YD tomorrow, including the weekend here on Sunday with Hyannis. And then Monday, they're at Chatham. 0-2, 1 out, 2 on. High, 1-2. Righty digs in. Set. Mueller deals, and it's slashed foul right side this time. Count holds at 1-2.
You can keep that foul ball, courtesy of attorney Glenn Hannington and his daughter Tennis.
One ball and 2 strikes. 2 on, 1 out in the 8th. 9-4 game for the Gatemen. The pitch. Fouled away. High chop off the plate. Dead ball, though.
Yeah, hit off of Ferrer's front shin, it looked like. I mean, that ball shot off it and just redirected up towards the mound.
Brewster has mustered 4 runs on 9 hits. Gatemen have played clean baseball tonight, not a single error. The Whitecaps have left 5 runners on base. Pretty clean night on both ends. 1-2, 1 out. Cut and a miss. Great pitch by Mueller. Strikes him out on the inner third of the zone, had Ferrer falling out of the batter's box. And after those 2 bloop singles, Mueller able to retire the next 2 via the strikeout.
Looked like a changeup to me, and it was a really good one from Mitch. Smythe now at the mound, and that's going to be all for Mueller, and a very promising first outing for him. And I think Smythe is probably telling him that, too, that he did a very solid job. It looks like he's going to give way to Tyler Dean to come into the game with 2 outs, but 2 strikeouts, 2 softly hit singles. I think they're going to take it here in the first outing.
Mueller, very, very good work on the mound. He's going to get a nice round of applause as he exits. We will find his replacement. Bring you back as we move along. The Gatemen. Tyler Dean is back for the Gatemen. He will face against Mason White with 2 out in the 2nd inning, in the 8th inning. Moving along on a Friday night. Glad you're with us on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Hard cut and a miss. 0-1. White can't catch up to an opening fastball.
Dean, 5th game of the season for the Hokie turned South Carolina Gamecock for this upcoming year. He's got a 4.9 ERA. Last pitched on Sunday, got 2 outs.
Sets and delivers just a touch off the zone. 2-0. 1-1 rather. 4.9 ERA, as you mentioned. 0-2, though. His 2 decisions, the first 2 outings, 2 days apart. The 1-1. Sliced foul off the end of the bat towards the school, 1-2. Those 2 games only pitched 2 1/3 innings combined. 2 innings against Hyannis on June 20th and a third of an inning at Yarmouth Dennis in a loss on June 22nd. 1-2. Cut and a miss. Well, 2 batters reach, and then 3 batters all strike out to conclude the 8th. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. Let's go to the last of the 8th. Wareham coming up, leading 9-4 on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Welcome back. We go to the last of the 8th. Here in Wareham, a 9-4 lead for the Gatemen. Tyler Mudd has shown a little distance tonight. This will be his 3rd full inning of work.
And he's pitched solid so far, only 1 unearned run, 2 hits through his first 2 frames. The biggest thing for him now is, this game's obviously not over for Brewster, but you just need some of your relievers to eat innings because no matter what happens today is also going to have consequences for our win or loss. Your bullpen's going to be taxed if you can't get this guy through some innings.
First pitch, low to Bobby Bozer. Scored after walking in the 2nd. Hard hit, but foul right side, 1-1. The 1-1, low in the dirt, 2-1. High leg kick. Deals just low in the zone, 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. Bases are empty. Opening things up in last of the 8th. Looks like a ball went over the fence out in right. Three and one, nobody out. Righty swinger takes high and away. Bozer draws his 2nd walk of the night. Leading off the 8th with a free pass, brings up Yadi Hernandez.
I was joking with Bobby the other day. They're going to have to change his initial round to triple B's. Base on balls, Bobby. Maybe kind of hide the O there. I mean, this guy is just a walk machine now, and he's hitting the ball really hard, too. It's a great combination.
First pitch, low to Yadi Hernandez. Single in, scored a run in the 2nd. Quick check to Bobby, and it goes past the glove of Jones. They got crossed up, and Bozer's on to 2nd. Bozer slid back in, almost took Jones out at the legs. And because of that, he couldn't catch the ball. So Bobby's on 2nd now. RBI opportunity for Wareham's starting catcher. 1-0. Caught and a miss, 1-1. You mentioned Yadi was a late addition to the lineup. Give Tommy Splain the night off. He didn't catch yesterday. He did play first. 1-1. Popped up. Right side. Curling towards foul ground, but it will stay in fair ground. Ferrer underneath it makes the catch. Bozer thought about a tag. Does not apply it. The throw gets by the third baseman Diaz, but backed up nicely. Awkward throw there from Ferrer, probably unnecessary. Sends Hernandez down for out number 1. Now it's to the 9 spot in Josh Stevenson, 2 for 3, with 2 runs scored, including a home run in the 2nd. The pitch, caught and a miss, 0-1. Gatemen have played terrific baseball tonight. One of the cleaner games they played in a while. Strike down the middle, 0-2. See who comes out to close it if Dean gets the ninth. Not a save opportunity. 9-4 the lead. It's up to 5 runs. They won 9-2 the first time they played Brewster at Spillane Field. Chopper over the head of Gordon, over to White at short, and the out is made. That's Mudd on the mound, by the way. So a 6-3 put out. Out number 2 does advance Bozer to third. Now it's Nick McLean's job to try and bring in maybe one last insurance run. Wareham has only left 4 runners on base tonight. That's something they can be very proud of, scoring 9 runs and leaving 4 on base. Those are good numbers. McLean has hit and scored in his last 2 at-bats. Takes a strike, 0-1. The Sun Devil climbs back in with 2 down in the inning. The pitch fouled off the inside of the bat, curling behind us, 0-2. A win tonight would officially clinch the season series for Wareham against Brewster. I believe that's the first team they would do that to in 2023. 0-2. Low, and it's now a ball and 2 strikes. All the West Division teams, they still have to play many more times. And the East Division teams, I don't think they played any East Division team more than once. Chatham. Low and away, 2-2. They played Chatham, YD, and Brewster twice. Also Orleans, so I stand corrected. The 2-2. Fouled away, fought off towards the Gatemen dugout. Count holds at 2-2. Even count. Back up the middle. A third hit for McLean. That's a laser into right center. Brings home Bozer. Gatemen get that insurance run they needed. 10-4 here in the last of the 8th.
It's good to see Nick McLean get going. He's got 3 hits in his last 3 at-bats. After his at-bat in the second, he was nursing a little bit of an 0-for-8 streak. So to see him hit, again, one of the best hitters in the league is great.
Well, Nick McLean, not a guy that usually goes 0-for-8. When he does, again, he rebounds very, very nicely. There's a strike called to Caulfield. He's quietly been on base 3 times as well. To walk, a single, and a fielder's choice. Scored back in the 5th. McLean on first. Into the dirt. Good block by Berg. The 1-1 offered. High strike called. 1-2. The 1-2 dealt. Just high in the zone. Checked his swing. It's now level at 2-2. Deuces are wild. Runners on first. 2-2, 2 out. The pitch. Fights it off. Just nicks it to the backstop. (10-4) Wareham, bottom of the 8th. Gatemen are going to be 3 defensive outs away from a win. It would be their 2nd in a row. Runner goes. Fouled away beyond the light tower right side. And Caulfield hangs around in this 2-2 count. Level offering with a runner on first base and 2 out. Breaking ball, clobbered left field. Back near the bleachers, there's no doubt about it. Wow! That is a shot. Garen Caulfield, a 2-run dinger. And the Gatemen offense has been rolling as of late. It's about to be 12 for Wareham. Wow.
102 off the bat, 366 feet. I mean, that one got well up the bleachers, multiple rows. How about Garen Caulfield hitting his first Gatemen home run? We've been seeing a lot of firsts recently. We had 2 guys hit their first home run last night, 2 guys hit their first home run tonight. A lot of balance in the order power-wise.
12 for Wareham, an 8-run lead. Hussey, hard cut and a miss. Grant with a double, and since then he's been 0 for 3. 1 for 4 on the day. Pops it up. Left side, trouble coming, but White's got it on the run. And we go to the last of the 9th inning. Wareham does get some insurance here in the 8th. Call it 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left after Garen Caulfield's nice little home run. 12-4 Wareham as we go to the 9th on the Gatemen Baseball Network. It's the first of the 9th. Last opportunity for Brewster to try and mount a rally, trailing by 8 as we welcome you back to the Gatemen Baseball Network. Jack Hunter, Amanda Foster, I'm Aiden Blank. Garen Caulfield gives the Gatemen some extra insurance, 12-4. As Peyton Green stands in. Dribbler, third base. Excellent play from Gonzalez. 1 pitch, 1 out for Tyler Dean here in the top of the 9th.
Yeah, great play by Dorian. He came in, he fumbled a little bit, was still able to get it out of his glove on the run. He made it look easy, but I promise you, not an easy play.
So the lineup turns over with Green likely finishing 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Here's Will Turner. Lefty hitter. And the offering. Strike down the middle, 0-1. Final line for Mueller. 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts in 4 batters faced. 0-1. Ooh, just off the plate, 1-1. As you mentioned, those numbers a little misleading. Those 2 hits, not at all clean, barreled up balls. 1-1, 1 out. Dean delivers. A low strike on the inner third, 1-2. Turner climbs back in, readies himself. 2-strike offering is caught on and missed. Tyler Dean, a very clean start to the 9th. He's now retired 3 in a row, 2 via the strikeout. And the last chance for Brewster is Davis Diaz. 2 out in the 9th inning with Brewster trailing by 8.
Tyler Dean's kind of an intimidating guy on the mound. I mean, he's very straight-laced, very serious, very composed. He's got the big shoulders. He's a big guy.
First pitch to him, plunks him. Hopefully that doesn't mess with Dean's rhythm. Ugly miss there. Sends up Josh Pearson. Left fielder out of Ohio State, LSU. Home run and a single to start his day, but since then, a strikeout and a ground out, so he's going to come in 2 for 4. His teammate Diaz perched at first. Whitecaps trying to rally here in the 9th inning. Swing and a miss. Beat him at 92, 0-1. En route. Ooh, runner takes off. He's going to get to third. No, he's going to hold up at second base as the pitch goes by Hernandez. Diaz holds up. 1-1, 2 out. Dealt just a touch outside, 2-1.
Make sure to stay with us after the game. We're going to have our live post-game show. Amanda's going to grab a player down there on the field after. If we can get this last out, what could be a big victory.
Breaks high, but gets the strike, 2-2. Gatemen a strike away. 2-2, runner on second, 2 out in the inning. Dean sets, delivers. Tap foul, he barely sticks around, prolonging this game by at least a pitch. Two and two, 2 out. Sets. Belt high and delivers. Fouled right back to us.
Hey, and this plexiglass thing in front of us, it's not gonna hold on for too long.
Gotta have faith, man. Come on. 2 and 2, 2 out. Sets again and deals. Line drive into right center. It's down for a base hit. Rounding, coming home Diaz. He'll score without a throw. And Brewster tacks on a run in the ninth. It's now 12-5.
Who else? Josh Pearson at first base. Homer in the first. Single stolen base in the third. Coming back here in the ninth inning with the single to drive in his second run of the evening now. And for Brewster, this offense starting to heat up a little bit, not just tonight, but over the course of the last few games. He's going to be a big part of their run over the course of the second half of the season.
Strike and a steal. Puts Pearson on second base. Oh-1. In the dirt by Hernandez. Pearson up to third.
Now, obviously, you're not too terribly concerned about Pearson on the bases, but I think for a morale standpoint, you would love to keep him stranded there. Keep this game as good as you can for the Gatemen. If you can hold him at 5, hold him just to 1 here in the ninth, you don't want him to let him get back into this.
Strike down the middle. Once again, Dean a strike away from ending it. Pearson. Looks like he's got the sign he wants. Sets at the belt. Delivers to Berg. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Wareham wins their second straight. They sweep this mini homestand and take out the Whitecaps, winning the season series with their second victory over Brewster in the Keystone Clash. Riley Eichhoff going to get the win. Austin Gordon going to get the loss. And Jack, a very good day, not much to complain about if you are Wareham.
No, I think this is one of the cleaner games they played all year. Maybe not the best or the most thrilling game they've played this year, but all three sides of the ball, I thought they were pretty solid tonight. Hitting the ball, they did it with a little bit of everything. Home runs, small ball, singles, moving runners over. It was a top-to-bottom effort from these guys. I mean, truly, I'm looking through the scorecard. I mean, everybody 1 through 9 had a place in this victory night. All 9 guys reached base. Starting pitcher was great in Riley Eichhoff. Bullpen came out and did their thing, pitching 4 innings, just 2 runs. And you got to feel good if you're Ryan Smythe. You know, coming into the fall with Jamie Shevchak in the office next to you at Keystone College, he's going to have those bragging rights to be able to say, I beat you in the regular season series. Now, if Brewster does beat Wareham in the championship, now that would trump that.
Yeah.
But that's an issue that we can have when we get there.
Wareham wins their second straight over Brewster, their second at Spillane Field over Brewster. And for our player of the game, who else but the newest Ohio State Buckeye, Josh Stevenson. He's with Amanda on the sidelines now. Josh? Amanda.
Ball came off the bat.
It felt pretty good. I knew I hit it hard. Luckily went over the fence, but yeah, hit it good.
And how important was it for the team to get out to an early lead?
Yeah, we've been struggling lately, but with the win yesterday and today, kind of turning the tides around. So let's hope we just keep it going.
When you mentioned you kind of got over the hump yesterday with one win, but now you have 2 in a row, both coming at home. How much momentum does that give the team going into an away game tomorrow?
Yeah, it's huge. We had a lot of hits tonight, a lot of barrels. Played good baseball, so Cape's a long season, so you stack as many good days as you can.
And all-around team effort tonight. What's your favorite thing about playing for the Gatemen?
Just when everybody's clicking, it's really fun in that dugout, and it's a blast hanging with these dudes, and I've made some pretty good relationships with a bunch of these guys, so it's been awesome.
Great, congratulations.
Thanks so much,
guys.
That's Josh Stevenson, our player of the game, as the Gatemen take this ball game by a final of 12-5. Final thoughts? Clean night for the Gatemen. They win 2 in a row. Much needed sweep of this homestand.
Continue to play well at home as well, Aiden. 9-3 at home. How about Riley Eichhoff? For the first time in 6 full games prior, a Gateman starting pitcher gets an out in the 4th inning. Eichhoff goes 5 innings. The Gatemen need good starting pitching. After Mark Manfredi, after Coleman Picard, after they both depart, they've struggled in that starting category the past week or so. Riley Eichhoff stabilized that role tonight. The bullpen saw a few guys tonight really solid. Mitch Mueller making his debut. Faraday looked good through 2 innings. Tyler Dean as well. A little rocky in the 9th inning, but I thought he pitched fine. And then hitting the baseball. 2 more guys hitting their first home runs with the Gatemen tonight, and Josh Stevenson and Garen Caulfield after Renee Lastris and Sebastian Murillo did it last night. I mentioned a little bit before Amanda's interview, it was really a full offensive effort. They scored in multiple different innings. They kept the foot on the pedal. It didn't matter once Gordon was out of the game after 4 innings. They hit the bullpen well. They hit the starter well. So overall, just a great victory. And an unsung hero of this game, Bobby Bozer at shortstop, made 3 web gems out there that you're going to be seeing at least on social media later, hopefully on SportsCenter.
Final score, Wareham 12 and Brewster 5. Our next broadcast is tomorrow, 4:45. Airtime is 4:25 as the Gatemen face the YD Red Sox at Red Wilson Field. The Gatemen Baseball Network is a production of Wareham Community Television and the Wareham Gatemen. Our producer, Braden Shank, and Rachel Manning. The director of broadcasting, Jay Spinelli. The president of the Gatemen is Glenn Hannington. For our entire crew and my broadcast partner, Jack Hunter, I'm Aiden Blank saying so long from Spillane Field. You've been watching Gatemen Baseball on Wareham Community Television and the Gatemen Baseball Network. Good night, everybody.